Well, hello, and welcome to the Lost Archives for episode 46. Oh my god!
Whoa, damn.
So many episodes. Hot diggity damn. Thank you so much for joining us. My name's Owen. I'm the Dungeon Master of this ragtag group of heroes and adventurers, but it's not about me. It's about the lovely players who join me each and every session. Say hello, lovely players.
Hello,
Hey,
lovely players.
Hello, lovely players.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Amazing.
I will
well.
introduce myself. I am Claire, one of the players. And I play Mira, the Dragonborn Sorcerer. Half red dragon, half silver dragon, badass. And definitely well suited to jungle life. Yes.
Definitely.
She's learning lots. Yeah, she's learning a lot.
Absolutely.
Water bending, people bending. Yeah.
People bending?
Yep. Snake bending. Yeah.
I hesitate to ask.
There were tentacles last time. Yeah. Anyway, that's Mira, and that's me.
I am Michael. I'm playing Lockie Hobbs, the Warforged Artificer, who hasn't started rusting yet because he's got whale oil. Cool. But yes, for now. But yes, still finding his way in the jungle, aided by his friends.
No.
Oh.
He's powered by friendship.
Whoa.
How my friendship.
Whoa.
Wait, the music changed to something a bit more
Oh, sorry. That's my bad. Don't worry about that.
combat-y.
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Don't worry about
Well,
that.
I think that's a great time to me.
Roll initiative!
Hey guys, I'm Jared, and I play the character of Jin. He is a level 6 Lore Bard and a level 2 Hexblade Warlock. He's a bit of the spy of the group. Mira sort of looks up to him as sort of a mentor, I guess, at this point. And yeah, he's currently helping out the Tempest Guild, an ally and associate, and we're trying to stop the Queen of Dragons Tiamat. However, we're currently stuck in this this jungle, so I will pass it over to Ellie.
Hello, I'm Ali. I'm playing Lyra, the Moon Druid, who is very much enjoying being in this jungle and slowly eating her way through the smorgasbord that is all the enemy NPCs, apparently.
Yeah.
Dear Lord.
I am Matt, and I'm playing Yervith, who is wondering what is going on with this ragtag group of adventurers that he's fallen in league with. But he is looking forward to spending some time hacking and slashing his way through the jungle and getting some sweet revenge.
You're going to be pretty happy there. We just took out a Yuan-Ti.
Oh yeah.
Your hated enemy.
I mean, he's kind of like, whoa, that was pretty intense, but like also kind of like, yeah, this is a good thing.
Wait, was it intense because Lyra just ate that
Yeah,
same
yeah.
Yuan-Ti?
I mean, yeah, that's really the only reason. It was like, oh yeah, we kill him, it's cool, and we'll get rid of the body or whatever.
Oh god.
And then that just was like, oh my god, what have I got myself into?
Oh my god.
That's all good.
It's convenient.
I do like the idea that this whole campaign is just like a backdrop for Lyra's smorgasbord adventures.
Yeah.
Oh, God. No,
This is
thank you.
The first of many.
Yes.
No, thank you.
Is this going to be a thing?
I think so.
That is your call.
I think this is
It's
happening.
up to you.
Only you can answer
Ellie.
that question, really. That's
How
entirely
many
up to you.
different types of enemies can Lyra eat?
One. Ha ha ha.
One. Two Yuan-Ti. Oh, dear Lord. Well, we should probably do a little bit of a recap for anyone who might have missed the last session. Remember that you can always catch up on the latest episodes by checking us out on YouTube if you want to watch our beautiful faces, which you can all now see. Or if you just want to listen to us while you go about your daily business, you can check out our podcast, which you can find on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Pandora. We're on a few different places now, so you can catch up on there. You've only got 46 episodes to catch up on if you're new to the channel tonight, so good luck, everybody. So I will do a very brief recap that in no way is going to sum up what's happened in the last couple of sessions, but let's jump in anyway. So our party have been traveling around, engaging in some sort of shenanigans on the island of Nunia, a large volcanic caldera filled with dense jungle. After heading deeper into the jungle, the party came across a remnant, a survivor of a exploration group, the Oxenfurt Historical Society, a wood elf known as Yervith, talking to the party and sort of introducing himself as someone who's in a bit of trouble and needs a bit of help. The party have teamed up with Yervith for the time being. Their goals aligning. Yervith wanting to escape the jungle and revenge himself on the Yuan-Ti, and the party wanting to investigate the Cult of the Dragon, specifically a man, a dwarf man known as Varum the White, who for some reason has travelled to these jungles to seek a golden city hidden deep within its depths. Last session, we left off with some camping. What I thought would be a fairly innocuous session of just getting like bogged down, getting like ready for camping, then heading off and sort of following the plot for a bit, quickly devolved with a random encounter of a Yuan-Ti, which resulted in a number of shenanigan type things, all culminating in Lyra consuming this Yuan-Ti. And that's where we left off, so we're going to jump straight back in. Yeah. Excuse me, just caught that sneeze in time, so I just literally will pass over to you guys. You are all currently inside your Lehman's tiny hut, this dome of force that has been created by Illyrian using his magic. The rest of you, I think at the moment, Lyra is outside consuming the body as a giant snake. Lockie's outside as well. Yervith had just done his rope trick. That's right. So Yervith had summoned a vine and pulled himself up into his little Mary Poppins hideout.
We made it to the morning.
Yeah, I think he had. I was sort of like catching up a little bit because I just remembered that you'd done that really cool thing with rope trick. Discuss that. So no one ever uses rope tricks. I'm really excited to see it in use.
Yeah, that was cool.
I will be trying to employ it more often than not. Depending on the situation. It's very cool.
It's a great little spell.
It's a very good sort of, get away from a potential threat.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's only good for an hour, but if you're in like a bit of a you're getting chased by something, it's like whoop.
Oh, that's great.
Poppins your way out of there.
It's generally situational, but in the jungle where there's vines everywhere, that totally works. So.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's one of the underused spells of D&D. I don't think anyone ever takes it, and it's a real shame because it's a lot of fun. So we have we'll jump into morning. So all of you are those of you who watch Lyra consume this body. Your dreams are filled with troubling images. You probably would have nightmares of Lyra consuming you just every so often, like this horrifying moment of like, oh god, she's gonna... Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. But you do wake up the next morning not consumed. None of you are eaten by Lyra during the night. Unless, Lyra, you wanted to... Did you want to consume any of the player characters during the evening? I have to ask.
No, I think she's pretty full already from the Yuan-Ti, to be honest.
I think we even got to breakfast and
we were still full.
We had got to breakfast. So we jump in the next morning.
I think I actually remember talking to Lyra about it and being like, hey, pretty much what happened there.
Yeah. Like what have you done? Why did you do this? What is going on?
Yeah. I think I asked her like, how are you feeling? Like, do you feel that in your stomach right now? But then you said like whatever the snake takes with it. Sort of along those lines.
That's right. Yeah. So we start up the next morning. Sunlight over the jungle, morning in the jungle, is filled with a cacophony of bird and animal noises. You can hear all manner of life coming awake with the sun. Trying to sleep through the early morning in the jungle is very difficult. You all are awoken quite early in the morning, sort of coming to as the sun rises, roughly sort of 5:45, 6 a.m. And you have your breakfast, you sort of go about your preparations, pack up camp, and prepare to head into the jungle. Now, my question is, what is your plan heading forward? So a Yuan-Ti had emerged from the forest, sort of come over to the dome and then travel back into the forest again right before you then attacked him. So that's this sort of one set of tracks there. There was a sort of a rough direction that your lizard folk guide was taking you on, but he is being torn apart, so it's a bit more difficult to get instructions from him. So my question is, what would you guys like to do?
I'd probably be interested in the Yuan-Ti tracks.
Yeah.
Considering there's every chance it's probably just a patrol, but might be able to lead us somewhere there where there might be more, or could potentially get us to the ruins.
Yeah. If you wanted to make a survival check, you can absolutely have a bit of a look for the Yuan-Ti tracks and see if you can figure out where they're going, where they've been, where they're going, where they've been.
I know. Oh my god.
28. It's an okay survival check. I mean, you glean a little bit of information on that. Yeah.
It's a tiny little bit.
28. Yeah. So very, very quickly, you have had a bit of experience tracking Yuan-Ti and sort of learning this terrain. So it makes sense that you would be pretty proficient at this. And as well, the terrain that it's come across is soft, sort of black sand, volcanic sand. So especially with the morning casting shadows, you have no trouble at all locating the tracks and tracing them back towards the edge of the forest. You can see that the tracks head into the deep forest, avoiding a few dangers that you've already noticed. There's a couple more of the carniflora, the carnivorous flowers that are burrowed beneath the ground. You notice a few more of those off to the side, but this track seems to be avoiding them as well. And it seems to be heading into a dense part of the jungle that you've not really explored in much detail yet. Mostly because but that's what they're called. Don't do psychic damage for carniflora. That's actually what I called them. Every time I say it, you're going to take psychic damage, Claire. All right, so just for podcast listeners, I just noticed in the chat that Claire had rolled a d4 and has now given 3 damage to Mira.
Sometimes you don't notice.
Sometimes I don't notice. It's almost like I've got a lot of things that I'm managing in my mind at once. Almost like that. Not quite. Almost like that. Yervith, you have no problem at all tracking this. And yeah, it does seem to be heading into a deeper part of the jungle that you've not explored before. Probably the most interesting thing you notice is that as you sort of trace it back, you can see that the snake person, this Yuan-Ti, looks like at one point it was carrying something heavy. And then as it got onto the black sand, the tracks lighten a bit, which is the opposite of what you'd expect. You'd expect the sand to leave a deeper track than the mud in the forest. So as you have a bit of a look around that outer section there, given your survival check, you find a body that has been dropped on the edge of the beach. It is a human man dressed in red robes that have been sort of bundled up and sewn together to sort of give a bit of leg protection, foot protection, almost like pants in a way, with a strange symbol that you've never seen before, a dragon head emblazoned on the chest with a number of lines like claw marks through it. And you can see that he also carries a mask on his back that has been sort of attached to the hood. That's very draconic in nature. This sort of brass mask painted red.
I would for sure, like at this point, like I would make a mental note of where the body is, and I would just sort of like walk a couple of paces and then just be like, Mira, and Lyra, and Lockie, and Illyrian, all of you. I think you should come and have a look at this.
My friends.
My friends. My family. Yeah.
We're not there yet.
Yeah. That's fair.
I've only known Matt for like
a day.
I've only known Matt for like 15 years.
Always so welcoming to the guest characters, Jared.
But yeah, no, I'd call out to them. I think this might be a friend of yours, or might be someone that you're tracking. And I sort of gesture to the body. Is definitely dead, right?
Oh yeah. You can see that there's a number of bite marks around the neck and chest, and there looks to be some sort of stab wound in the gut. It looks like, given the foam around the mouth and the purple sort of veins, this person probably died of some sort of poison or venom. I'm not sure which.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, I'll wander over.
Yeah, just wander on over.
I'm sure everyone else will follow.
Yeah.
Yes. Yervith, what have you found? What is over this? Oh, quite interesting.
Indeed.
Not well robed for jungle travel.
No, wouldn't have thought so. Looks like the Yuan-Ti didn't have in though. And I sort of gesture to the punch marks and the foam around the mouth.
So
you stand up, take your glasses off, and go, "Yuan-Ti did this."
Yeah.
Okay, Horatio.
Cue the NCIS like CSI Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks
Do
like
I
you're trying to grab a
recognize-
bite to eat.
No.
Yeah.
Do we recognize anything, Owen? Like that
Yeah,
might be Order of
instantly.
Dragon?
The symbol absolutely is Order of the Dragon. The mask is very
Right.
reminiscent of the things you've seen before, and even the robes. I mean, you've stolen and worn robes like these, I think, once or twice before, and in disguise, you recognize them instantly.
Cool.
No guesses which group this person belongs to.
So I imagine that this body probably would have died around roughly the same time that the Yuan-Ti sort of showed up.
Hard to say. As you have a bit of a look over the body, if you want to make a medicine check, anyone who wants to definitely can.
Lyra.
I will assist the medic and provide the help action. Oh, well, I
18.
said the medic. Didn't say Lockie, unfortunately.
Lockie, as you sort of bend down, like
But 18's great, so.
18's fine. 23 for Lyra. Actually, Lyra, you do get a little bit more then. So Lockie, yeah, as you look down and look over this body, yeah, this person died of venom. They were bitten by some poisonous snake, and the venom overcame them, and they died. What is interesting is that the gut wound was a couple of hours earlier than the bite that killed them. You can see the gut wound itself looks to have, there's been a rough attempt to even stitch it, a really rough attempt, and you can see where the blood has congealed, and then this sort of darker, much more sort of hemolyzed blood, this very dark Icarus blood has leaked out from between these makeshift stitches. Definitely infected. You think if the venom hadn't taken this person out, infection would have. It's a gut wound. It's not pretty. Lyra, you get a little bit more. What do you see as you sort of look over the body and begin examining? It looks like that the wound itself, the bite marks that have poisoned them, are too narrow to be from the Yuan-Ti.
Interesting.
Oh.
Because the actual, like the width and diameter of the two puncture wounds from the teeth, very, very close together. It's almost impossible to have been the Yuan-Ti. Much smaller snake, talking like an actual snake-sized snake.
Oh.
Are there multiple punctures as well, you were saying?
Yeah,
Like-
there's three that you can, as you look over the body, there's three. Two of them looked like they got caught in clothing and only a tiny bit of venom was delivered, but then the one on the neck, straight into the jugular, and delivered an incredibly high dose of venom directly into the bloodstream. This person would have died within minutes.
Are we talking like a Gorgon kind of cluster of snakes, or just like 3 snakes that happen to be on top of each other?
You've got no idea. You don't even know if it was the same snake that did this
Could be
3 times. Like
all
had 2
that.
strikes and then a 3rd strike to attack. You've got no idea.
Oh.
She tells the others, about this. She's like, so guys, I know we're thinking that the Yuan-Ti probably did the whole bitey thing on this dude, but Yuan-Ti definitely didn't do the whole bitey thing on this guy. Like, look at these puncture wounds. They are way too narrow. His jaw was massive. These are like normal sized snakes.
Yeah.
Really, really poisonous ones.
That's
Is
interesting.
there a? Do we get a time feeling at all from the time of death?
Oh, yeah. Within the last couple of hours. In fact, this person died while
Oh.
you were sleeping. Just before the Yuan-Ti emerged, this person, very, very, not too long ago at all. Very, very recent.
That's good.
Any traces of around body of snakes heading off, or footprints or anything?
any
You're welcome to
tracks?
make a survival check. Yervith can already see the track that the Yuan-Ti has taken deeper from the forest, and Yervith, now that you're sort of looking out for it, you notice that for a bit it looks like this person was stumbling. There's like occasionally footprints. They're mostly the snake tracks. So it looks like this Yuan-Ti was helping carry or maneuvering this person through the
Right,
forest.
Right. Okay. Interesting. So, all right. Looks like perhaps they were
It's a bit
helping
of a
each other out,
mystery.
which
Bum, bum,
is
bum.
interesting. Initially, I thought that perhaps they had a disagreement and the Yuan-Ti might have did an end, but I agree with Lyra. The puncher marks are too close together.
And that does, I mean, what you guys heard as you walked into Borsky Ridge, the very first story you heard was, a group of cultists rocked up, they stepped into town, one of the dude, this dwarf, stabbed a woman, and then they all ran away, and then it turned out that woman was a Yuan-Ti.
Yeah.
So that's the story that all of you heard when you first came into town. Not Yervith, sorry, Yervith wouldn't have known that.
No, I
But
didn't
you
know
guys,
that one.
the rest of you would have. Yeah, because that happened just after you went missing.
Yeah, for sure.
Not just after, sorry, like a month or 2 after you went missing. Sorry, you'd been missing a
Yep.
I'm not sure how much of a hassle it would be, but I'm thinking we might have sort of two options with this dead body. We could either take the body with us and try and return it to his people and, like, you know, somehow, like, get them on side, like, oh yeah, we're totally with you, and then stab them in the back. Or we can, like, take his stuff and perhaps Lyra could maybe pretend to be him. I mean, if the only person that knew that he died was that Yuan-Ti that we killed,
All the things
you know,
that put
then-
in the first place.
I'd rather not any dead weight hold us down in the jungle. So, Illyrian, I think perhaps you should take on his clothing and his mask, and perhaps that would become useful.
I'll
Good thought, Lyra.
I'll
Lyra,
sort of.
Lyra, can you take on, when you take on someone's personage, I suppose, can you take on something like, say, a couple of bite marks on the throat or something along those lines that like look freshly healed or whatever?
The only thing, I mean, like, I could do that, yes. The only problem I'm going to come into is I have no idea how this man sounded before he died. So if I approach his company, I will have no idea how to actually sound like him.
Oh, but you are a great performer. Maybe the bite marks, like, interacted with your throat and you'd be like, I can't speak.
Injured your vocal cords.
Yes.
No,
Or
that.
we inflate his lungs with air and force it through his vocal box to make sound so that we do actually know what he could potentially sound like.
Whoa.
Might be a little bit creepy. Does anyone
What?
know?
I will say, gust of wind would
That would do that.
technically do that.
But it wouldn't make it sound like him talking, right?
No, it'd just go.
be like Yeah.
So you have to actually. There's a lot of muscles
You would
involved
have
with
an
engaging.
approximation. Like,
No, you
surely
really
if
wouldn't.
you manage to
No.
change.
I'm so sorry, but that's not how the vocal cords work. The vocal cords
I'll
there's a
sort
lot of
of-
musculature that has to move them into position. Because when you breathe,
you
you're not
know,
always
like-
going, right? Like that's stridor. I think that's what is that what it's called?
They did that
Stridor.
with King Tut, didn't they?
Yeah, he's called
Like,
Strider.
they got King Tut's voice box and they managed to actually figure out what he, like, approximately would
No,
sound
it's bullshit
like.
science. It's bullshit science.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry. It's
I have
That's
seen that video though. I have seen that video and it does sound like huh.
turns out he's one of those Minecraft villagers. Huh.
That's where I got the soundbite from.
I'm so sorry, Ali. That is bullshit science. That's not how that works. The vocal cords. There's also no possible way they could have recreated them. The vocal cords are like some of the softest tissue in your body. They're almost the first to go when you start to rot right after the eyeballs. Sorry, guys, getting a bit dark and intense here, everybody. But buckle in. This is the Lost Archives.
Yes.
I'm not
Jungle
speaking from personal experience. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way they would have been able to accurately make any idea about what he sounded like at all. Like, there's no
That's so
accuracy.
lame.
Sorry.
It was so exciting.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's entertaining. It's just bullshit.
I think we'll just go with the old damage the vocal.
Well, yes, that sounds a bit better.
strategy.
I will sort of kneel down. I'll grab out my sketchbook and my little pencil, and I'll sketch this guy's visage. And I'll just start inspecting it and sort of figuring out these nooks and, you know, any scars that he has and all that other stuff. Where the hair is in places. I'll take his clothing as well
Yeah.
Strip
to
him naked.
emulate the clothes. I won't strip him completely naked. If he is naked underneath all the robes, I'll just get some leaves and chuck it on in his private parts.
For decency, yeah.
For decency.
Yeah.
Yeah, after I've sketched his face to steal it, looted his body, I do want to cover it for decency.
Yes.
We're not horrible. We're not terrible.
We're not savages.
That's where the line sits. Good to know. Good to know.
But yes, I will sketch his face into my sketchbook. And yeah, I think I won't change into him right now. I'll probably stay as Lyran right now until we find his company and then probably do it.
Fair enough. So,
the evidence ahead, does this mean that our Yuan-Ti friends are now working with the cultists? Because if this one's helping was helped by our friend from this morning, then does it stand to reason that that's not an isolated event?
Wait. Just what did you say then? Sorry, look. Did you say
A bit too smart for me. What?
Well, this cultist person,
Yes.
Yervith was saying that as they were coming through, the tracks were showing that the Yuan-Ti was helping the cultists walk.
I don't?
So the Yuan-Ti, not the Yuan-Ti, this gentleman here, sorry, was being helped by the Yuan-Ti to be walked. And then at some point he passed, and the Yuan-Ti, I guess, left him here because he's dead. And then that's when he ran into us, and then also became dead.
He may have been trying to get help for this.
Was he trying to help him, or was he sort of directly involved in his death?
Yeah, I mean, he could have been just trying to stash the body, but I mean, if you're going to try and stash the body, you do a little bit better job than just leave it on the jungle floor here.
There's
Yes,
a perfectly good pond right here with all
Exactly.
sorts of things.
Do you think it
But
was
maybe he would know not to go near the pond because of what lurks beneath.
I mean, if you're going to stash a dead body, what better than to have a large tentacle creature eat it?
I mean, the jungle is a big place. There's lots of places to stash a body. So
That's true. Maybe they were running.
I don't know. I don't think they're on the same side. Just because, well, in the village, Borsky Bridge, they stabbed a Yuan-Ti.
oh, really?
They did.
They did.
That could have been a defector or something.
Well, then, that does change things a little bit.
Well, but Yervith, you were saying that the tracks, he was like helping him walk, right? That's what you
Yeah.
saw in the tracks.
Well, what you saw was that occasionally there's footprints, so it looks like the Yuan-Ti was helping carry this person, and they were occasionally putting their feet down to create tracks. Logically, that's what would make sense, to have like occasional footprints and then no footprints at all.
Yeah,
So he was maybe dragging the body to the lake.
it's hard to
That
tell.
could be it.
Could have been. We don't know the full story here. It's only a hypothesis at the moment. But
Yes, it is.
Can
But
you recreate the scene a bit? Could you Legolas Aragorn the situation for us?
oh yeah.
I wish I see.
I mean, it could go either way. You could have been helping him to the water. You could have been this poor fellow might have been injured, and you know, it could go either way. But
I mean, there's
this
a third
sto-
option. The Yuan-Ti just was occasionally growing a leg. and
Yeah.
Falling off.
Well, but if this
I can't
story,
believe we didn't think of that.
if the story you tell me about the stabbed Yuan-Ti back at Borsky Bridge, that sort of changes things. It's interesting. Perhaps they're not just seeing. Maybe they are. Maybe they have an uneasy alliance, and perhaps they don't all see eye to eye. Perhaps
Perhaps.
how-
Good name for the
that's what
episode.
it,
An Uneasy Alliance. I like it.
that's
Good.
what it seems to me.
Just note
to
that
be
right
the
now.
likely case.
Well,
Well,
we
but
can find
it-
out.
In any case, we should probably not loiter here too much longer.
I agree with that. Absolutely.
So Yervith is going to go back towards where the camp was, and he's going to whip out like a small carving knife, let's say, and he's going to just quickly scribe into the tree something that looks completely unintelligible to anyone else. It's basically a unique version of Thieves' Cant, basically. But what this actually is for those playing at home, it's basically marking this as, I guess, in scouts. I was actually a real scout for 10 years.
Yeah.
They do trail markings, which sort
Yeah.
of it shows you where you've been and gives information to people who know it about the area. So it's basically transcribing like the events or the area being safe or dangerous or whatever. It's just
Yeah.
a trail marking, essentially.
As an explorer, that makes perfect sense. So yeah, this is a language and a series of runes and symbols that are known by your exploring society. It's very much unique to your exploring society. No one else outside of it would have known, because a lot of the time they might use it to mark locations of interest and locations of treasure.
Yeah, so I guess this is kind of to say, like, the markings kind of to say, like, waterhole unsafe, camped here one night. yeah, it's basically
Cool.
really basic stuff. But for anyone who knows would know, like, oh, someone was here, they stayed
Yeah.
here.
And it's a very
Okay.
Yervith thing, because I guess at this point there is probably a part of you that is still hoping someone else survived, that you're not the only
Yeah,
one. So,
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's sort of
I
going
love
through
it.
my mind as well. But also, if we need to come back, like, we know exactly where we were, and this is
Absolutely.
what happened and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys watch as Yervith heads over to a tree and scribes some unintelligible series of pictographs that you've never seen before. You've got no idea what they are.
Yep.
Pictograms, sorry.
And when I'm done, I just basically like, yeah, let's go. I'm ready.
Wait. Appreciate it.
Alrighty. So, as you guys head into the jungle, I'm assuming that you're going to follow the trail that the snake has left, the Yuan-Ti has left, the sort of slithering track marks, correct?
Yeah. Sure. I think that makes
Cool.
sense.
Marching order, please. Who is going in what order? If you want to arrange yourselves on the map, you can do that as well. We'll have this is the front, this is the back.
Would Yervith be at the front because he's our best tracker / scout?
Would probably make sense.
Yeah, I'd probably be up the front.
I'll probably be somewhere at the rear.
Yes. We'll take the Vanguard again. Sounds good to me.
I'm in the middle.
Yeah, where the sorcerer needs to be. So we've got, in order, you've got Yervith at the front, followed by Lockie, Mira and Lyra bringing up the middle, and then Illyrian taking the rear guard. Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty.
If we need to go stealthy, I probably won't stay here.
Yep.
But I'm here just in case something happens to you, my friend. So.
Absolutely. No, that makes a lot of sense. Fantastic. As you guys begin heading through the jungle, Yervith taking the lead, tracking down and following these markings, occasionally sort of pausing to stop, have a bit of a look around, check for danger, as well as focusing on the path in front and the trail that's taken. Would Yervith be sort of pointing out dangerous things while it's going on, sort of eager for the conversation, or just more keeping quiet and focusing on what you're doing?
He'd be quite reserved, so he'd be sort of going about this like anything else, like not necessarily engaging, but only like if it was like, you know, if they were about to touch something super dangerous, like he'd be like, oh, don't do that. But like basically much to himself, like moving, sussing things out, sort of keeping an ear to the ground, and really just sort of moving through the jungle and doing his thing.
Perfect, Amundo. While Yervith is focusing on the trail, what are the rest of you doing? Lockie, you said you were sort of trying to keep lookout for any danger, correct?
Yes. So while Yervith is focusing on like the trail and like the trees and things are passing in danger in that way, I'm going to be on a lookout for stuff sort of coming either for Yervith or coming sort of like from the sides, things actually moving around.
Perfect.
Yeah. I'll grab an investigation or a perception check, your choice.
All right. I will investigate.
Investigation it is. 13. Occasionally you sort of catch glimpses of movement. You'll turn to sort of assess the danger and see it's a bird or some sort of like creature moving through the forest, occasionally a monkey. Not that constantly, just every so often. Just the animals that sort of haven't quite heard you coming or were distracted at the time. But yeah, nothing sort of leaps out. There's no obvious dangers. Occasionally you'll sort of like be walking and Yervith will pause, hold a hand up, stop you, have a bit of a look, and then keep walking, and you'll have no idea why Yervith stopped you. You're sort of looking like you don't see anything of particular note. Or Yervith will like direct you around a vine that's hanging without any sort of explanation and just sort of point out that vine and just be like, don't touch that. And you'll be like, okay. Oh, okay, fine then.
His vigilance is mostly in part because, you know, he needs to watch out for his friends, but also because he is really paranoid. Very unfamiliar to him. So it's like it's jumping at birds and vines and things like that.
Yeah, and every time Yervith gives you instruction, just following it to the T. Yeah, absolutely. Mira, what are you doing while this march goes on?
Probably similar, just really following Yervith. And maybe just should be trying her best to think about what the dynamics between the Yuan-Ti and the cult is, because it doesn't really make sense to her from like a political point of view.
Yeah.
Do you want to make an insight check to see if you can see if you can figure it out, see if you can puzzle it out? If you're not proficient in insight, you can add your proficiency to this because you are trying to figure out the politics of a situation, and given your background, I think you would be proficient in understanding or being able to suss out the political machinations of a situation. So you rolled a 2 plus 3. Is that plus your proficiency?
No.
What is it when it's plus your proficiency?
An 8.
8. Yeah, I mean, you're really struggling to come up with plausible scenarios about why these two groups would work together based on the information available. Colt arrive in Borsky Bridge. Colt come across Yuan-Ti. Colt stab Yuan-Ti in the face and body and leave the woman to die bleeding out on the side of the street and run into the jungle before anyone can comment. You do also remember that, because you're not 100% sure why the cult are here. You don't actually know 100% why. There'd been a rumor back in Palin that Varum had lost the White Dragon mask.
Yeah.
But why he would come here, you've got no idea. So probably at this point, what you're thinking is like, do the Yuan-Ti have the White Dragon mask? And then there's also this added information of like their connection to dragons and Tiamat. Like, what is their connection? What's the connection of these snakes to Tiamat?
I think that Mira would be talking to Illyrian at this stage as well, just because, to see if between them they have any idea. That in like very whispered sort of voices, and occasionally she'll just trip over hit the tree branch, trip over a root, just adjust her pith hill. What are we talking about? That's how, and that's why she didn't roll very well, because she's very distracted.
Yeah, you ever at the front will turn around and just mouth like, "What are you doing?" every so often.
And I'll probably, because I'm a bit more at the back, I'll be like, what, Mira, what did you? No, trip! You're about to trip.
Yes.
Mira, what?
Amazing. All right. In that case, we'll jump to Jin really quickly. And we'll come back to Lyra. Jin, if Mira's sort of trying to discuss this with you, I might swap Mira and Lyra marching order. So Lyra's in front, Mira's behind, just because it then would make more sense. Otherwise, like you're trying to talk through Lyra. It's just like walking along, being like, "Hi guys, I'm still here."
That awkward like conversation with a bus thing. It's like,
I'm going to
Lyra's like just
down,
dropping down.
To settle her down for a sec, I'm going to place my hand on her shoulder, and just going to sort of reassure her. And as she feels this warmth sort of wash over her, I'm going to cast Aid quickly. I want to do that at the start of the day. And it's going to affect Mira. Let's go. Lyra has shape form, so she doesn't really need to do it. So it's going to go Mira, Lockie,
he's picking his favorites. Listen to him. That's the sound of someone who's picking his best friends.
I don't want to pick myself. So it's going to be Mira, Lockie, and Yervith, because Lyra can shape change. So just quickly, that's a level 2. So everyone will just get. I'll just put it.
5 temporary hit points, I think.
So that's what happens.
10 oh no, it's the second level of your casting.
Each target's hit point maximum and current hit points increased by 5. So it's not even temporary hit points.
No, it's just a full increase.
That's just your maximum.
Yeah. If you want to note it in temporary, you can. We'll remember that's what that is.
Yep. So what I'll do is, as Mira's sort of muttering to herself and pour inside, and she's like stumbling and tripping, I'll sort of place my hand on her shoulder, like I said. She'll feel this warmth sort of. What was that? Sorry.
Hello.
Sorry, my Google Home just went off.
Oh wow!
as you're doing this, Jin, like a bird repeats that like right next to your ear, and just there's like this moment of like freak out where you guys hear this voice, and you turn slowly, and there's a parrot there that just goes like, "I'm sorry, I don't know what to do with that information. I can't help with that right now." And you're like,
"Oh my god!"
Keep walking. As this parrot just is like, "I don't have an active internet connection. I'm unable to assist with your inquiry."
I'm just gonna sort of mage hand and sort of
now playing Staying
shoo
Alive.
him away. But yeah, so I will cast Aid though, reassure Mira, and the other two will feel a bit of a sort of warmth wash over them as well. And I've just sort of calmed her down. Okay, what are you muttering about? What?
Oh, that feels nice. Sorry, Jin. It doesn't make any sense. This whole alliance seems to be crumbling. If it was anything in the beginning, it doesn't make any sense that they're even here. I just don't understand. Whack.
For podcast listeners, that whack was a tree branch hitting Mira in the face as Claire face palmed herself. Did you actually hit yourself? It looked like you did on the camera.
Really? No.
Oh, okay, nice. Oh, nice.
Effective miming.
Impressive.
I thought for a second you'd taken it a step too far and actually made
I'll
contact.
probably, as she probably goes to hit the
Yeah.
tree, I'll probably be like, Mira, watch out for that tree.
Watch out for that.
Yeah, no.
That's the second time.
I say, so are you? So you're sort of engaging in with Mira in this. I am going to be an eternally nice DM. Mira, you may roll this check again.
Yeah.
As you
okay,
have someone,
cool.
as you have someone to bounce your ideas off and to chat back with you, I will allow you to roll with advantage. So you may roll that insight
Perfect.
check again.
Essentially the help action. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the thing is as well, like, because I hadn't asked all of you what you were doing before, I then got you to roll. It is.
Damn.
Oh no.
So that's a 10, right? Because you're
Dan.
10.
It's better than what it was before, I guess.
That's
Mm.
true. That's true.
Yeah, you so 10 is enough to get something. So at least it's not like I've got no idea. 10 is enough to get a bit of information. As you're talking to Jin, you're bouncing ideas off one another. One of the things that pops into your mind is that there is a bit of a history amongst followers of Tiamat raising Dracoliches, bringing that's like originally that's what the Cult of the Dragon did. Was their entire focus was necromancy. So they're closely aligned with Red Wizards of Thay, all focused on necromancy and creating Dracoliches. But one of the other things that they did during this time as well was also try to bring Nagas back from the dead, create undead Naga. As you think about that for a little bit, okay, so there is a little bit of a history here at the Cult of the Dragon and giant snakes.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So these guys are old cultists. These are the ones that the vampire was talking about. The real ones.
Could very well be.
Yeah, as you say that is a possibility. You do remember that the vampire Sandaisal Borgia did say she was going to take her castle and fly off and try and find the true cultists, not these ones who've lost their way and started worshipping Tiamat.
Yeah.
She wants to find the old necromancers. You do remember
I sort of thought that the alliance didn't make sense, and I thought it wasn't a thing. But now that you bring that up, well, that changes things potentially. A lot of questions without no answers at the moment, but I'm sure we will find that out. Just
By gathering information?
Yes. One tip though.
Yes.
Be more aware of your surroundings and stop walking into branches.
What do you mean?
Podcast listeners, Claire hit herself in the head again. Now, Lyra, while this is going on, what are you doing?
If we stop for say 10 minutes or whatever for a quick rest or a break, she'd like to do a ritual cast of Speak with Animals and see if she could have a chat to a nearby bird or monkey or something. Specifically, she wants to ask hey, do you know where the Yuan-Ti main camp is? Have you seen these adventurers that may be lost in the woods? Can you help direct us?
Seems like a really good idea to cast that spell. I would say that there is a point where Yervith loses the trail for a little bit, and there is a bit of a pause while he sort of tells you to stay put. Oh, and okay, tell you what, I saw your look of shock then, Matt. Yervith doesn't lose the trail. There's conflicting information from the trail, and so trying to sort of puzzle out which pathway you should be following, Yervith sort of tells you all to stay put, and he does a little bit of forward scouting and has a bit of a look around. In that time, you have time to cast Speak with Animals. Would you like to chuck the spell up in the chat so that if anyone is watching this and doesn't know what Speak with Animals does, they can quickly read it. But essentially, Speak with Animals is one of those D&D spells that does exactly what it says on the tin. Like your Boots of Climbing or your Wand of Magic Missiles or any of those magic items. What does it do? So Speak with Animals, she can talk to animals. That's literally it. So, absolutely. How long does it last for? 10 minutes. Not too bad at all. So you just ritual cast this spell. So for 10 minutes while you're waiting, while Yervith is sort of checking around, you can talk to animals. There's a couple of birds that you can see in the nearby vicinity. There's a few insects on the ground. If you're looking for sort of specific animals, I'll need you to make me a perception or investigation check to have a bit of a look around specifically for other animals. But you can already see there's birds flying around the canopy. A few insects like ants and things like that. A couple of spiders. 22. Yeah, there is, up in one of the top branches, really, really high up above you, you do spy a spider monkey. A spider monkey.
It's all about spice today.
It's all about the spice. Long prehensile tail with a series of white stripes that go back along it. But what's really strange about it is it has 4 arms. So it has 6 limbs as it's sort of crawling around the top. So technically not a spider monkey, more of not an arthropod monkey. It'd be like an insect monkey, but that's okay.
Spider monkey.
Yeah.
Spider
Ben 10 spider monkey. It's not blue. But yeah, you can see the spider monkey sort of like pulling apart what looks to be some sort of like mango-like fruit, pulling the pit out, sort of spitting it out and eating this very sort of juicy yellow flesh of this fruit. That's what you see high above you.
Shouts out, I guess. She's just like, hey you, up there, eating the fruit.
The monkey sort of turns, looks down. What? What do you want?
Oh, hey, I was wondering, do you get around this forest? Like, do you know your way around? You look like you're a spider monkey that kind of knows your way around this forest.
Bravest of all spider monkeys. I explore every part of the forest.
Oh, so you would know where the Yuan-Ti are? We want to know
Yuan-Ti?
where they are.
Sort of looks a bit confused.
Sneaky people. You know the
Sneeple.
big snake. Sneeple.
Sneeple.
The Sneeple.
Snakes on one end, humans on the other. You know. She sort of just gestures.
As you say that, he sort of like drops the piece of fruit he's holding in his hand, back onto the canopy floor. He sort of like looks a little bit sort of shocked and frightened and goes, yes, I know where they are. Yes, I know where they are.
Oh,
dangerous to go there.
Yeah, that's why we kind of want to know where they are. One is so that we don't accidentally walk into them, because that would be horrible. But 2, we're also looking for their I'm not sure. I think they're their allies. We're not 100%, but they have allies also wandering through this forest. And I was also kind of wondering if you knew where these allies of theirs were, you know, so that we don't accidentally run into them.
Yeah. Can I have a persuasion
could you point
check?
me in the right direction?
Maybe. Maybe.
Persuasion?
Persuasion check,
Yeah.
please.
Persuasion.
Starts with a P and ends with 18. Okay.
Almost
Okay.
a 4. It was
Nice.
almost a 4.
Wow.
Oh my god.
I'm glad it wasn't.
Yeah, 18's fine. As you sort of like ask these questions, the spider monkey begins sort of climbing down the tree to get a little bit closer, sensing that you're not very dangerous and sensing that you're not going to be a threat to it. Sort of like looks at you, and you've been a little bit complimentary as well, so that helps sort of oil the wheels of politics and democracy. The monkey sort of like comes out. You want to go? You want to go deeper into the jungle? You want to go to the golden city, bright shiny city?
Can you that way, like where we took it, sort of, you know, towards the direction that the sun rises in the morning, or towards, you know, the area that the cool winds blow from the cold mountains.
So poetic. As he points in the direction that Yervith emerges from, having like located the tracks. So as Yervith like comes out, there's just a monkey pointing at you, Yervith. This like 4-armed monkey, just like pointing at you. Yeah.
Is she? Oh, okay. Druid things.
So for you guys would hear Lyra go like sort of like monkey noises to this monkey, and the monkey making like back to her.
Yeah.
No idea what they're saying. But
I just look on bemused, just like, okay, this is new.
I sort of
I'd imagine like you turn to look behind you. It's like, oh, you hand back the fruit? Yeah, the monkey. Oh, take the fruit. Yum, 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 yum. Yeah. Starts munching down hardcore on that juicy mango.
Okay.
I will turn to Mira. Both sort of, you know, grew up in the cities, and I'll be like, I've seen many things in the cities. I've never met such a character before, and that's saying something considering my line of work.
Yes, I mean, this is a natural environment, I think.
Oh God.
Things can get a little bit crazy out here. In
Yeah.
the jungle.
I recall that time where you just repeatedly stabbed that guy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Things get out of hand during the jungle.
You must be mistaking me. Mistaking
Someone
it
else,
for that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was me. That was someone with far more anxiety.
That was Yervith, my brother.
Oh, man. Yeah, so you can see the monkey is pointing towards the northwest position currently. Be very careful. Creatures go in. They don't come back out.
We'll be very careful. Thank you.
Wait. Tell the monkey if they've seen any other humans or any other expeditions.
Oh, have you seen any other expeditions, like ones from like maybe a couple of months ago, and they all got tragically and horribly lost, and looks like they all separated. And Lyra's now talking with the assumption that nobody else can understand her. And she's just sort of like, yeah, like it didn't sound like it went too well. Like it's, you know, it's the one that really broke up. I think a lot of them died.
Yeah. except all Yervith hears is.
Yeah.
Like you've got no idea what she's saying.
I'm like, I hope it's the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just sort of saying this. The monkey's like nodding slowly. What's a monkey's intelligence in D&D? Just out of interest, I want to see how much you can. Ooh, it's not great.
No.
I was even overestimating it quite slightly. It sort of like looks at the party and looks back at you, Lyra, and sort of like nods a little bit and then goes, "Now, many come in, not many come out."
Yeah, I completely get that. You're absolutely right.
There are some with the Yuan-Ti, the snake people. Some with them. They're not eaten. And it shrugs.
That is weird, isn't it? They always eat people, don't they?
It nods, yeah, it nods emphatically, yeah. My cousin was eaten.
Yeah.
By Yuan-Ti.
Oh shit. Oh,
And my brother.
Sorry to hear that. You just tap him on the shoulder.
Oh fuck, man.
I'm not sure. She might have. The monkeys like rations.
If you've got some fruit, he'll take the fruit gladly, yeah.
Yeah. She'll get like one ration's worth of fruit or something from like her bag and like give it to him. It's like, hey, thanks for helping me out. Like, here's some food for a bit.
Yeah. He just demolishes it. He fucking has that fruit.
Weird. Alright, well, I think Lyra turns back to the others and she's like, so, you're a bit guessing that you just came from that direction, that you've probably already figured this out.
Yeah.
Golden City that way.
Oh, that's excellent. Wow.
Yeah, Yuan-Ti and the humanoids that we're also finding, also that way. According to Monkey
Okay.
Bro, all the humans that generally run into them don't exist anymore afterwards.
Yeah.
So,
That's-
we already knew that.
That aligns
Whoa.
with my
Have it confirmed.
experience. So-
Whoa, I must say, Yervith, for your tracking skills to be that potent, to have already picked up on that whole sort of exchange, I bravo to you. I tip my hat off to you as I sort of sarcastically clap. Because Lyra is like, oh yeah, you must already know this, but Temple of Gold over here. Did you sort of know that?
Well, I mean, I
It
came from
that
there. and
direction.
I'm pretty sure.
What
it's that way.
Yervith knows is the tracks go that way. He
Yeah,
doesn't know
yeah.
where they lead.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just like confirming. I'm onto something. That's good. Excellent.
Yeah.
Very well done, Yervith. Your tracking skills are extraordinary. To see into the future, what? Wow.
I track in 5 dimensions.
Smell.
I'm very good. What can I say? I'm a professional.
He's just like, what can I say except you're welcome? Yeah.
Well then, thank you, Monkey Friend. There, he's very helpful. I guess if we're all done here, gotta track the track.
Let's track
The track.
Track
It's
the
exploration speak. Exploration speak.
Yeah,
Track
yeah,
the track.
yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't.
It's lingo. It's the lingo. Yeah.
Lingo, it's a lingo.
Yeah. Boy Scouts.
You got.
yeah.
Yeah.
Boy-
Dib
Yeah.
dub dub.
Oh yeah.
All
yeah.
that.
So I'm assuming at this point you guys are ignoring the monkey. As you basically don't even thank him for his efforts, he just scurries back up the
Oh,
tree.
I thank him for sure. I'm like, thanks, monkey.
The person who speaks monkey didn't thank him. So
Oh.
did
She
you?
gave him fruit.
Oh, that's true. You did give him fruit.
Here are my
Yeah, you did give him
rations.
dried fruit.
Thank you for
Yeah, that's true.
helping us.
That's true. That's true.
have
That's true.
fruit.
That's fair. He doesn't throw poop at you then. He does scurry back up the tree. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I wasn't gonna do that. He does scurry back up the tree and resume like demolishing more mangoes that he's got at the top.
I guess
Yeah.
as we're about to leave, I'll just ask Lyra, what did the monkey say anything about any other adventurers or any other humans in the jungle?
The only ones that he really seemed to notice were the ones that were traveling with the Yuan-Ti. So unless the remains of your party being picked up by them, the only living humans that he seemed to remember were with them.
Well,
But monkey, he may not have noticed your friends. Like if there's like
So they-
one person living in the jungle or whatever.
So there's a chance that some of them might be still alive. That's good news. But he could have also been talking about your dragon priest fellows, whatever.
I mean, like statistically, he was probably talking about them, given what we know about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't
But,
instill me with a great
you-
deal of hope.
You survive. Come on, mate. If you survive, what faith do you have in your party if you believe that you could survive and not them? I mean, mate.
That's true. But there was a lot of bodies.
And Yervith, you do know that you're the only one who has this special cloak as well.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, but they don't know the jungle like I do.
Look, Matt, I'm gonna be real with you right now. In my experience, there is a really, really good chance that they have been taken up by the badger moles, and they are living in giant badger communities underground. They're probably with my druids,
Big bag badger mole.
I'm sure they're having a giant party without us. We're gonna find them. It's gonna be great.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
That sounds. Yep.
Yeah,
All right.
there are badgers here, right? Like, have you seen badgers in this jungle?
I haven't seen badgers in the jungle.
Okay, well, maybe they're just hiding.
I mean, I saw a deer last night with like 4 eyes and 6 legs, but I haven't seen any badgers. So.
What would the badgers be doing? Like, are they helping these people? They kidnapping them? What are the badgers doing?
What's the relationship
Using them
here?
as farm labor, I'd say. I mean, they probably use them. I mean, if the badgers don't have thumbs, they would need them to man the shovel so that they can farm their insects.
The badgers are collecting thumbs.
They don't have thumbs, but they can't use shovels without thumbs.
So,
I feel like we've gotten off topic.
yes.
Yeah, it's like super confused. He's like,
I think everyone's a bit confused.
Right.
You probably see everyone in the party except Lyra, like, sort of like questioning things. Everyone's sort of got a puzzled look, I imagine.
Yeah.
Illyrian definitely does.
There's just
Conversations.
equations in front of my face right now, just equations.
The conversation's
will-
gotten a bit away from us. Let's
I'll-
bring it
I'll-
on
I
back.
will, I will do
I'll put my hand on Yervith's shoulders and say, Yervith, there is a greater than 0 chance that someone apart from you is alive. And then he'll walk.
I can live with that, and I follow him.
Alrighty. You continue walking through the jungle. I have a request for Lyra and Mira. Could you each please roll me a D10?
A D10.
A D10.
An encounter, would it?
I would like a D10. 4 and a 2. Excellent. Ooh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So as you guys begin walking through this next part of the jungle, Yervith, you're so focused on this trail that you only spot a potential danger as it is too late to notice.
Oh, no.
In the canopy above, sort of right above where you guys are walking, are a colony of weaver ants. These massive, like 30 centimeter long ants that cut leaves and build these elaborate nests in the canopy, these massive nests.
Oh no, they sound
What
horrible.
What was that? Sorry, Lyra?
Say 30 centimeters?
30 centimeters.
Oh, they're big.
They're big.
I
Yeah,
remember
they're big boys.
hearing a very interesting little tidbit about ants. If they were the size of dogs, they could literally take over like the planet.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Except for the fact that their volume would be so great, the oxygen diffusion would cause them to just...
Yeah, square foot wall. Their exoskeleton would collapse and kill them.
Well,
But cool fun fact. Back before the time of dinosaurs, when the oxygen in the atmosphere was super, super crazy, there were dragonflies the size of helicopters. Boom.
I do know about that.
Fun fact.
So what I'm
Yeah.
saying is that 30 centimeter ants are terrifying.
Absolutely horrifying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So as you basically are walking through this canopy, it's only when the sunlight sort of disappears over that you realize the danger, and you look up and see this massive floor, this incredible leaf structure, this enormous nest, and these tunnels that have been built around the forest canopy right above you, only sort of like 3-4 meters above your heads. And as you sort of like pause the party and hold your hand up to stop, you know that silence is absolutely vital at this point. The ant's vision in the darkness is not so fantastic, and in this sort of undercroft section underneath the nest, you can see that it is quite dark. A lot of the ant droppings and the remains of their prey are growing these very sort of large mushrooms and these mycelium spores all around. And it is quite dark under here, but at the moment you do not seem to have been spotted by any of the scouts or sentries. But as you look around to begin sort of taking note, anyone who wants to make me a perception check can, or if you want to assist each other, do.
I will roll perception.
Yeah.
I will assist somebody.
I'll take the assistance.
Perfect, sweet. 19 from Yervith and 20 from Lyra. So yeah, you can see a number of scouts located around the edges of the nest, mostly above where you are now. At this point, you've only sort of walked 2 to 3 meters underneath this nest. It goes on for another 20 in front of you, and easily 40 to 50 on either side. It's this massive corridor.
No.
And you can see that the snake has indeed moved directly along this pathway between the mushrooms, between the waste from this ant nest.
Oh shit.
Yeah. What would you guys like to do?
Can Lyra link up with Mira telepathically so there's no noise? And I think she's gonna ask Mira, "Hey Mira, can you like control water? Like I'm talking a serious volume of controlling water."
I mean, control water can do anything, but what we're talking about.
What I'm thinking is I've got my flask. If I shake the shit out of this thing and turn it upside down, it will put out a decent amount of water. Could we potentially use it as a giant crowd control hydro cannon and blast these ants away with the two of us using control water like waterbenders and just washing the ants away?
I also have maybe another potential solution that might not be so invasive. Maybe if I
She will whisper it to the others.
Yeah.
Maybe if I cast hypnotic pattern in the middle and all that see it, they'll all become charmed.
I sort of very carefully whisper, I can pass without a trace as well. We can get past stealthily if you would like.
That could be good.
It's probably less destructive, yes, probably.
Valerian, I think the hypnotic pattern might be useful.
What about we just keep that as a fail-safe instead? If we can pass without a trace, then they won't even know we're here. Like, admittedly, hypnotic pattern's 3rd level.
Yeah.
So at a game, we'll try. I reckon try to pass without trace and just sneak our way through. And then if we get into trouble, I'm going to tell everyone just to shield their eyes, because it's only people who see the pattern creatures. So if all the ants see the pattern, then they'll become charmed. Or well, there's obviously DCs. But
yeah.
It could
So-
be like a fail-safe.
I kind of like gesture for everyone to sort of like crouch down a little bit, like kind of assume a position of stealth, and I will cast Pass Without a Trace.
I'm also going to go through and cast Prestidigitation on everybody to get rid of any odors or anything they might have on their clothes, at least, to like lower our chances of getting sensed or smelt or whatever. So ants take in information.
While they're prepping, I'm just going to take off my armor.
Nice.
Yes. I'm a little bit more vulnerable, but hopefully I won't flank as much.
Well, that
Absolutely.
might help.
Well, I
but
better
yeah,
get
so-
some stealth checks from everybody, and I think we'll also get a stealth check to start with, and then we'll address other things as we carry on.
28 plus 10.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Watch me roll a 5. Oh, I'm at 20.
Nice.
You said this about the rolling of 5.
It's not 7 though, it's 17.
Yeah, that's 24.
'Cause it's plus 10.
That's 34. for the
So
24.
we've got 28, 32, 24, 34, 17 pass without trace.
Well,
Amazing.
we're 30s as well then, aren't we?
Yeah, we're 30.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Two
so-
nat 20s. So 22 and 24. Nat 20s for Mira and Lockie.
Wow.
I mean,
Pass Without a Trace is already like this.
Exactly.
is already great, and
It's
Pass
really
Without a
good.
Trace just makes it like tons better.
Oh yeah.
as you all sort of begin like getting ready to move forward, Yervith comes around to each of you and begins sort of like whispering instructions, like, no, place your foot here, like you need to carefully on this bit. Grab some like leaves and things like that, a little bit of mud, sort of wipe some mud on the bottom of your shoes and things like that to sort of basically remove the footprints that you're leaving, and to be really, really cautious. And starts giving you sort of pointers, because I imagine for you it's less of a magic thing, more of like your knowledge.
It's
and
much more
skills.
physical. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I kind of prepare that. I've already got like mud and like this like camouflage sort of thing on my face.
Like a makeshift
and,
ghillie
like,
suit.
Yeah, it's like leaves are just like springing out of my
Yeah.
cloak, and I'm just like.
As you move into the
really
fungal section, you're like replacing ferns with mushrooms as you carry on.
Yeah. I've got a giant like mushroom hat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my God, that
amazing.
just adds up the whole dimension.
Like the monkey's
Amazing.
gonna see that and like hold up a little branch.
I'm doing my best Toadette cosplay.
Oh god. Yeah.
Yes!
I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, with that in mind, you guys begin sort of moving carefully through this section underneath the ant nest, this area of waste where there are bodies of ants that have been left here to rot, and lots and lots of fungi and other parasitic creatures sort of living off this detritus that's come out of the colony. As you pass through a section of some rather large purple mushrooms with these massive fronds that are sort of coming down, almost like jellyfish tentacles, laying below, you begin to notice these little sort of like golden spores falling very gently from the purple fronds that sort of seem to just be dropping towards the ground. Underneath it, the pathway that the snake person has just sort of like moved directly through this thing and carried on.
Are any of these spores coming close to us?
No, they're just sort of drifting down slowly and settling onto the ground. And as soon as they touch the ground, they sort of lose their light and almost disappear in a way.
Are they just in this area, or are they like?
Yeah, it's
along-
pretty big in this area. There's a number through the undergrowth on either side. But the sort of the pathway that you're taking, this track that you're following, is a track that's been sort of made through the waste. Otherwise, on either side of you, it's piled up with these rotting carcasses of dead ants, waste food, poo. Like the waste of an ant colony. I don't know how else to say it really. It's their junkyard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how dangerous these spores could be, but if any of them actually do come close within our range, I'll cast like Mage Hand or something to sort of move them away from us, just in case, to
Yep.
avoid any potential hazards.
Would I know? Have I seen these spores before at all?
No, you're unfamiliar with these. But if you wanted to make a nature check, you and Lyra probably would be the people in the best position to make a nature check for this.
I'll give it a go. Not my
Or Lockie as well.
strongest.
Lockie would make sense with his database.
Lyra
for
might
Yervith.
help Lockie if
Yep.
Lockie wants to.
Sure.
Yeah. Funny enough, int-based stats, not Lyra's thing.
Wait, what? I know. I do
It's
think
intelligence.
nature should be a wisdom stat.
I think it should
It
be
makes-
too.
But then you get too many wisdom stats.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Insight could be an intelligence one rather than wisdom. Because
I
you're
think maybe
using
because-
your analysis of body language and
It might be more of an intuitive thing though for the
Yeah,
the
that's
insight, where nature's more you recollecting information that you've learnt before, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Probably
that's
how
fair.
they've went about it.
Yeah, no,
It's
that's a
like,
good
I
point.
guess like nature's more like, you kind of read it in books. That's kind of like the
Biology.
idea, so biology or
Yeah.
something. Like it's like a practical thing.
Yeah.
Whereas like survival is kind
Yeah.
of being in it, and
Yeah.
just
That
surviving
makes
and not
sense.
really caring why the trees are green and whatever. So yeah, kind of a weird one.
So 17 and 19. We'll take the 19 because you had the help action, Lockie.
Nice.
Yeah, you do recognize these. These are dream spores. This purple mushroom is a native of the Underdark. What it's doing up on the surface in this ant colony, you suspect probably the darkness from above has allowed it to grow, but that would indicate that these ants have a colony that goes like this nest that's above you is just part of the nest. Probably it goes deep
wow.
beneath the earth as well,
Oh,
potentially down to the Underdark.
fuck.
For these spores to get here, it's pretty substantial.
Wow.
But yeah, what you notice about these, what you remember about these from your databanks, any creature that breathes these in immediately starts becoming drowsy and eventually will fall asleep. And those
these are
tendrils that are down from above actually will reach and pull the creature up into the belly of the mushroom, where it will be slowly digested.
Oh,
This is why it hasn't been effective for me. It's because I can't fall asleep because I'm an elf.
Neither can I. But our other friends here may be in a little more trouble.
Oh, indeed. Yes, we should.
You can't be put to sleep by magical means, correct?
Yeah.
It's
That's what
not
it says.
magic. It's a poison.
Oh.
So you can be put to sleep by this.
Damn. Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I have advantage against poison.
Yes, and you don't
It
breathe.
doesn't drop
So,
down.
yeah, and you also don't breathe, which does help a bit with that.
That's
I
it.
was
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. Righty.
all right. Well, that will still probably mean I'll probably still be doing mage hands for anything that comes close to us and
Yep.
moving any of the spores away from us, like shooing them away, pretty much.
I will
Maybe not
put
shooing.
If
But,
you want covering over your mouth with that.
Yeah, I put my mouth cover up, my mouth
Yeah.
wrap.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'll definitely use some fabric that might attempt to do something similar. It might not
Yeah.
be effective, but I'll keep the mage hand up to keep anything away from us. And worst case scenario, if anything gets too close, I'm going to prestidigitation. So 30 feet is mage hand, 10 feet is prestidigitation. I can actually create like a
Little gust of wind, right? Little
Like a gust of wind or
sensory-
something?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And
Yeah.
if it gets too close, I'll cast prestidigitation to have a gust of wind blow through and move it away from us.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
I'll probably
absolutely.
I'll probably be concentrating that the Owen as we're sort of traversing this. So I'll be like concentrating
Perfect.
on sort of
Yeah.
using mage hand and prestidigitation to keep any spores off us.
Yep. And
Lyra's
Mira.
gonna
oh, sorry.
help with that.
Yep.
Sorry, Lyra's
Even
also
better.
gonna help with that. With her again using her infinite flask and shape water to try and make somewhat of like an umbrella,
that's cool.
as using that sort of 5 feet that she's got.
Yeah, so the space you have to walk through is only 15 feet where these spores are, with the tip of the mushroom, the bell of the mushroom sort of covers the pathway. So yeah, that definitely would help. And Mira, what are you doing while this is happening as well?
I guess I can assist shape water.
Yeah, she's got extra water. She slings them over to Mira.
You can even
extra
freeze it.
stuff going.
I could
Yeah.
freeze it actually, yeah, as we go.
Yeah.
So in a way, we've got like just a bunch of layers of
Protection.
protection.
Absolutely. Given the layers of protection, you don't even have to make con saves. I was going to say you make con saves with advantage, but now that you've got the shape water ice dome protecting you, sort of basically blocking
And I
any.
An ice parasol. And I just-
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. You don't even have to make con saves. You just pass unharmed under this section of the mushroom and continue on your way. As you're moving along, you see a section of the nest that does actually touch the ground not too far from you. It looks like some sort of tunnel of leaves that's been constructed to then go into the ground. And Yervith, as you sort of place your hand upon the earth and listen, you can feel the vibrations of ants moving through this, and occasionally sort of like drops of dust and things like that from above as they scuttle along the ceiling. Yeah, little bit tense this as you sort of pass under this section, but you do eventually reach the other side, out of view of the scouts, and begin curving back through the undergrowth. This pathway very quickly, as soon as it passes out from under the nest, heads into a dense thicket and then down a bit of a slope away from the view of the watchful guards. and you were able to move completely bypassing this incredibly dangerous section of the forest. Nicely done.
Nice one.
Fantastic. You continue on for another 2 hours walking through the forest. No other significant dangers. Occasionally there'll be sort of flashes of movement through the undergrowth, but nothing significantly dangerous assaults you or comes near you for the remainder of this walk. As you continue on, you begin to reach a section where the forest begins to thin. And there are signs of more and more tracks moving through this section. How long does Pass Without Trace last for? It's like...
An hour.
It's only an hour.
It's an hour, so it's gone by now, yeah.
Yeah, it would be gone by now.
Yeah, no problem at all. So yeah, so as you sort of move underneath and you begin walking along, the Pass Without Trace sort of disappears as the party relax and they get out of that heightened state of focus, and Yervith sort of stops correcting you for your terrible walking and things like that. Terrible stealth.
Nice.
I think that'd be about right.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, you reach an area where the forest begins to thin a bit. You can see there are poking out from the ground ruins, stone ruins, half buried and taken over by the jungle. It starts off small, the occasional pillar, chunk of rock, and then it gradually begins to develop into what looks like the edge of a city. And as you approach a small rise with a hill, you come across a crest and a valley hidden below, covered in this dense jungle. You can see a massive golden citadel.
Whoa.
Easily, like a giant square pyramid palace coated in gold with vines and leaves growing up the side of it. A series of houses and small dwellings sort of branching out from it. You can see the remains of roads and canals that have now been overtaken by the jungle. This dense, abandoned city. But you do also see movement. You can see figures moving up and down the pyramid in and out of stone passageways, and it looks like there has been a concerted effort to try and repair sections of it. Cranes have been erected that are starting to pull stones back into position. The jungle is being cleared from the top down. The gold now able to shine through the leaf litter once more. And you can see directly below you, only sort of 40, 50 feet away, on a section of road that's been mostly cleared, a number of cultists speaking animatedly with some Yuan-Ti. You can't hear what they're saying from this distance, but you can see them sort of talking. One in particular sort of gesturing wildly, pointing to things. And then eventually the cultists are escorted away by this Yuan-Ti, sort of moved towards one of the buildings and gestured inside. And then these two guards take up their post once again.
Are the guards, are they Yuan-Ti guards? Or
Yuan-Ti
are they
guards,
cultist
yeah.
guards?
They look quite humanoid, but the giveaway is the snake skin, patches of snake skin on their human skin. There's patches of scales. And the clothing that they're wearing is this very sort of brightly colored, mostly beaded cloth. Cloth with beads all the way through it, making these like striking triangle patterns all along. Very like Latin American style traditional clothing.
Wow.
And they look like they're heading into this large ziggurat, essentially.
What I'm going to do is, as we sort of see the cultists, Illyrian or Jin's going to quickly disappear out of sight for a sec. He's going to change his clothes into the cultist robes that he took. He's going to look at the sketch and emulate that person.
Yep.
And then he's with like the snake bites and everything. He's going to sort of come back to the back of the group and be like, "How do I look?"
You
Impressive.
look like you've been bitten in the neck by a snake.
Does this voice sound good?
Jesus.
That sounds perfectly adequate.
It sounds like a voice that you can keep up for the next hour of the podcast.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
As someone who frequently has to commit to voices, be warned. Is all I'm going to
Good
say.
luck.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've realized that,
GG.
like, with my choices of character, I've already accepted this.
This is my last.
Swabby Seabeard at your service.
Oh, I love him. I miss him. He'll come back. Yeah, I'll look at the group. I don't know, Owen, if I can actually change voices as a changeling when I've committed to it with the
No,
physical
you're
change.
changing your voice. Like you can maybe modify it slightly, so you can make it a little bit higher, a little bit lower as you change the body, but not fully change the voice.
Unless I do like the full action again and actually
Yeah.
change that with an action. I might do that quickly. As everyone I just sort of take a step back, sort of gulp, and then I'll do the changeling feature again, but
Yep.
this time modify my voice just for now.
Yep.
Okay, yes, this might be better just for now. What's the plan?
Well, did it seem like... It seems like they're amicable, doesn't it?
Mm.
It seemed to be, there seems to be some sort of uneasy alliance.
Mm.
Name of the episode. He keeps saying it. That's great. Roll credits.
What's the kind of layout of the city? Can I see like we said there's a ziggurat and houses around it. Is there like a central area or something I'd recognize as like a religious sort of area or a town square or something like that?
Yeah, so right in front of the ziggurat is a large open circular dais, raised dais, with a series of columns around it that have half collapsed. It looks like this was potentially some sort of ritualistic site. There's a large pool of water right in the very middle, deep pool of water. And the rimming is this beautiful gold and electrum.
So it's not walled or anything?
No, it's a central raised dais right in the shadow of the ziggurat. And the positioning of the ziggurat, I'd say, given that you're asking those questions about religious significance and town square, could I have you roll me I'm going to allow a religion or history check.
There's equally average. I'll go.
It's all right. Sometimes the dice gods are favoring you.
So I did roll an actual 20, and I've rolled
16. From this positioning, looking at where the ziggurat is positioned, you can clearly see that the rising sun illuminates the pool and reflects the light onto the top of the ziggurat. And then as the sun sets, the shadow that it casts strikes the pool first. So it's this very clearly designed raised area that has something to do with the sun.
What time of the day is it? Like, how long have we been tracking through the jungle?
You've only been tracking the jungle through like 3-4 hours, so it's barely midday, and the sun's high above. You can see that the pool is reflected this like glint of light as the sun is directly above the pool at this point.
Cool. Okay. Looks like we could track through the city, remain quiet, but I don't know what you were here. I mean, do you want to kill these guys, or do you want to talk to them?
I could infiltrate them.
Yeah.
Infiltrate their ranks.
I mean, I could try and assist you, but I might not be as easy as to blend in with them.
No.
I could
It
hide
might
in
be
the
a bit harder.
shadows and offer some support from a distance, but perhaps...
I should be fine. But what does everyone want to do? What does everyone think the course of plan should be here?
Why is it you want to find this Baron fellow?
Do
you want
I sort of take you in, look you up and down, and look at Mira and like, we should probably tell him a little bit more.
Yes, I think so.
Well, you know who I am. I'm a Lyrian. I am a member of the Bard's College and the Harpers. I am assisting this Tempest Guild with a very important mission.
Okay.
Ready yourself. The Cult of the Dragon, or the Order, is trying to they're attempting to raise Tiamat, the Queen of Dragons. Yeah. And we, my dear friend, have been tasked with stopping that.
Oh.
And this Varum, up until recently, was a mask wearer, someone up high in the cult, and we want to get them to interrogate, pretty much, and find out whatever info we can. So that is why we're here. That's pretty much most of it for now. Quite brief.
So we kind of need him alive rather than going out and killing
Oh
him.
yes.
Right. Okay.
Well, we can kill everyone else, but not
Good
him.
to know. Good to know. So don't kill the short dwarf dragon priest man. Okay. Very good.
How? Take that in. How do you feel? What do you think of that?
I mean, it's like second craziest adventure I've been part of. So yeah, it's right up there.
Oh, so like you've also been part of many other world-shattering, cataclysmic events.
Oh, I wouldn't say world-shattering, but I've definitely seen my fair share of action.
Well,
But
I'm sure that this will just be a cakewalk.
Yervith inside's like, what the fuck am I putting myself into?
You're just
But then
putting
he's
on a
put the
brave
front, he's
face.
like,
Oh.
yeah, this is
Do you want
normal.
to make me a performance check then, yeah,
Yeah,
to see how well
absolutely.
you
It
contain?
is my highest stat. How did
I
you
thought it might
know?
be 11. Not too bad. -1 as well. That's not too
bad.
bad at all.
I'll do a quick insight to see how much I
Yeah,
actually.
Natural 20 for 23. Just double your score. Yeah, in your mind, you're like, yeah, I've got this. They've got no idea that I'm like sweating bullets right now.
Yeah.
Jin looks at you as you are like shitting your pants.
Yeah.
Oh, are you okay?
No, I'm fine. Yep. No worries.
He's not fine.
This
It's almost like there's
is-
like subtitles as he's like, I'm fine. It's like he's not.
He's not fine.
I've done many intense things. Nothing like this.
I sort of come up to him and I sort of grab him by the shoulder. Have more confidence in yourself. You stayed in this hostile environment for nearly 2 months. If you can survive that, I'm sure you can survive many things. Have more confidence in yourself. And I just sort of give him a reassuring pat because I noticed that like he's just like, okay, yeah, no, I wasn't panicking at all, but I see right through it, and I sort of try and give you some
definitely see
resolve.
through it.
No, it's all right. It's all good. Yeah.
I look at him. I look at you in the eyes and like, this isn't going to be easy. Many lives are at stake. We are the few that can change that course. We need to resolve. We need to find resolve, and stay together as one. We are only as strong as our weakest link. And I sort of look at you in the eye.
Oh shit.
And be aware that I'm just some random cultist with snake fangs at the moment.
Yeah. I'm like,
So
I
it's probably a little bit like that's already probably a little weird for you.
well, it sure beats slinking around the jungle, and did want to get here eventually to put a couple arrows through these Yuan-Ti. So why not? I'm in it. I'm in for it.
Well, that actually makes it easier because they
Anyway,
are obviously
for that.
helping with this order. So we both share a common enemy. And
And if what you say is true about these old dragon cult fellows, they shouldn't be left alive either. Upsetting the natural balance and all that. This can't be left unchecked.
Well,
I feel
I
like
look at
Yuan-Ti fans might even agree with us. So we'll see.
it is definitely an uneasy alliance.
Oh,
Um,
God.
I know. I just have to do it.
Drink! Everyone drink!
I'll sort of look around though. Maybe I could wander in, get some intel on this group, and then once I've sort of gotten settled in, maybe I can use some subterfuge and other things to start eroding the Yuan-Ti from inside.
Okay, but
Force a revolution of sorts.
okay, it sounds like a fantastic idea. The only wrinkle is how are we going to get it in? Because
Well-
I'm pretty sure they haven't got any Warforged on the build.
No, unfortunately, it would only be me. My idea is that I would stumble outside of the jungle with my voice crackling and gasping, and I'll basically sort of stumble into camp and be like, oh, I was poisoned, I nearly died, and then I'll sort of collapse and pretend that I passed out.
Okay.
And then they might take me in. Worst case scenario, if anything goes to shit, I will just cast invisibility and run away.
If
Good
that's
backup plan.
the case, should we cycle around and use that as a distraction to get in?
That's another good question. That's another great point, actually. I could be an infiltration / distraction. Yervith, you're quite light on your feet. If you could lead the others and using me as a distraction and sort of go about your own sort of agenda, we could accomplish a few things.
As much as I dislike cities, I have been known to frequent them, so I could definitely pick a path through these ruins here and get to a more advantageous position. And yeah, it sounds like a plan.
Should you have a, because, you know, Jin, I'm kind of growing a little fond of you. If you're in a position
Just a little.
where you're about to be, like, straight up murdered, do you have perhaps a way to alert us or let us know? So there's like a, you know, an oh shit button or a ripcord of some sort?
Dear blunt Lockie. You're about to be murdered. How are you going to get out of there? You're just going to die.
Die.
Just die? Power down.
Yeah, power down.
Just bow down.
How loud? How loud would minor illusion be if I
Not
create
deafening.
a sound?
It's
But would it be enough if I created an alarm sound that they could hear it from a distance? Doesn't have to be deafening.
Not a big distance. No,
Okay.
it's
It
a
would
pretty
need to be
quiet
like-
sound.
It would need to be like
Yeah,
thaumaturgy or something
Yeah.
like that to make enough noise.
Or shatter or something like that.
Yeah.
Shudder and do it.
I would do it.
Thunderclap.
Thunderclap, yeah.
Shockwave.
Underwave.
I don't have any of those.
Loud noises.
Just screaming. We're discussing magical options, but there's a much easier way.
That's true as well.
You use vocal cords to be like symbols like the vocal cords of like a galah or a cockatoo, and like,
Oh,
Well, does anyone have any?
could be like an Aarakocra. So yeah, I would argue yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Does anyone actually have any magic or anything that could do like long range distance? Like,
Not really.
I could shoot you with my bow.
yeah.
I mean, I can make a lot of noise in various ways, but
actually, I carried signal whistles with me. I have a small whistle used for signaling.
Oh, that's
That's amazing.
Kind of sounds perfect, doesn't it?
That would survive.
I just my inventory. I have 4 of them.
It's a starting. I'm pretty sure it's a starting pack thing.
No, I bought these.
Oh, that's right. You did too.
Because
Yeah.
when we went off, I said, "Owen, here's my shopping list," and it was like
Yeah.
massive.
That's right, that was smart.
Okay, cool. I'm sort of thinking we're all sort of sitting there. Oh, and I sort of rummage around my bag and I produce some signal whistles. And I have 4. So this, I'll keep one with me, and I'll sort of disperse them to everyone, one each, sort of just for this sort of round. So this of us, so one person will have to just make do without. But like,
Wait. When you hand it to Lockie, he sort of just pass it out. I don't have lungs.
oh yes, I will pass it one each to Yervith, Mira, and Lyra, just in case they do get sort of on their own. Now, if anyone goes and has any trouble, use this whistle, and hopefully all of us will be within earshot, and then we can come to the sound, we go to the sound of that, and either reconvene, or actually, what about this? One whistle is for danger. Like, if it's only one whistle, that means danger. 2 whistles means we want to reconvene at the spot.
Right here.
Actually, don't do 2. Do 3 for the reconvening, just so there's a bit of a difference between the 2 signals.
Yervith is thinking about like all the fun like bird noises he can make with this.
Yeah.
Like, but he's just like, all right, that sounds good.
Do you know something funny? When you said you had 4 and like if Lockie doesn't take one, that's enough. I thought for a second you'd need 6 because obviously with the portraits, I'm there too. I thought I'd need a whistle. That was a full second, full solid second or two where I'm like, where's my whistle? Oh man, that's
Sorry.
No. It's just really funny. I was like, who's missing out on a whistle? Oh, it's me. Oh, yeah, right. Well, that makes sense. I'm not there. I don't exist. I am the whistle.
All on every whistle.
We're all whistles.
Yeah, I just thought I'd share that because it was a genuine moment where I was like, that's not enough whistles. Who else is missing out? Oh, I'm missing it. Oh, I'm missing it. Yeah, well, that makes sense then. Yeah. It's one of those nights, clearly. Yeah, so you hand around the whistles. Everyone has a whistle except for Lockie and me. So you're all ready to rock and roll.
So I just go back to I just look at Alarian again. I just say, so the plan is you're gonna go in there, infiltrate. We'll sneak around.
Slash
and...
distraction.
Okay, distract.
So the moment I appear out of the jungle, start making commotion, use that advantage to sort of hide yourselves, get into the city, whatever you sort of want to do. And yeah, I'll leave it up to you guys how you want to sort of traverse and whatever you discover.
Are we trying to get into the dais, to the middle?
Yes.
Just be careful. Be careful because obviously, like, we're in hostile territory.
Oh,
You guys will have to tread very carefully. Where I might be able to find out a lot more information because I'm actually with the cultists.
Actually, Lyra, having some air support might be quite good.
oh yeah.
Yeah. As in, like, little sneaky air support
Yeah.
or big air support?
Maybe a little.
Subtle would probably be best, I would say.
Subtle air support. Okay, what have I got that would be suspicious?
Oh, cough.
Make sure it's native to the jungle.
A parrot would be cool.
You should do the classic like Harry Potter like just go as Hedwig, which is not native to the area, makes the easiest outer track. Like you need to just really.
No.
Well, because she saw that parrot before, could she actually use that parrot as a
Sure.
template?
Yeah,
I'll
I'll just do local.
monkey.
The Google Home to parrot.
Okay, but you have to begin every single conversation as the thing going. Okay,
Oh
Google.
no.
Every time. Oh my god, mine lit up.
Oh my god.
Oh man, this is. I can't see this backfiring at all.
No.
No, I would say that yeah, you had a little bit of like you saw the bird. I mean, you can turn into a couple of small creatures as well. Yeah, I think generic parrot, no problems there at all.
Sweet. So she'll do that, and she'll sort of try to stay within a 6-second movement of Illyrian. To, make sure that she's close.
And not to mention, you'll probably be able to see things that any of us can't even see because A, you're up high, and B, like a parrot, that's pretty normal, stock standard jungle stuff. They probably wouldn't even they wouldn't even look at you twice. So you'd probably be able to find your own sort of intel as well, which is actually really helpful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Don't want to hear.
Yeah.
And it'd be nice
Yeah,
just having that backup.
Yeah, so she's trying to stay close enough to Illyrian that she can be helpful, like, should shit go down, but she's, trying to listen in, see what's going on, see if she can find this weird dwarfy person that's missing his mask, like...
Yeah.
Classic druid things. Yeah.
Meanwhile, I will lead Mira and Lockie.
The least
Undetected, hopefully.
So just to sort of understand, so I know what Jin and Lyra are doing. So the three of you, Yervith, Mira, and Lockie. Your plan, if I'm not mistaken, is to try and sort of like loop around, stay within the jungle, but get a little bit closer to the ziggurat. Is that the plan?
I think so. Yeah. Maybe just hugging the perimeter of the city and maybe kind of using
and possibly depending how well Jin's distraction goes, if he somehow manages to pull a bunch of people over in that direction, maybe we could start wandering in towards the ziggurat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sort of thinking we would almost be running like perpendicular with Alarian. As he kind of like walks into the city, we could be running like through the city with like kind of in line with him, but like obviously.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good
It
idea.
probably wouldn't be a humongous commotion.
Yeah.
No, but enough of a distraction that
Because I mean, like that way we'd be
like
close.
looking one way
Yeah.
and maybe looking
Like it
Yeah.
won't be an ongoing distraction. It'll be like an initial, and then you just use that sort of. If you can find that window and you think you can sustain that,
We just gotta find a place to hide.
Yeah,
I guess that's just
Yeah.
sustaining that is going to be the issue as well.
Yeah.
And but you got past that trace, I guess, still to cast.
Right, one more slot for that, so it's only an hour. So
Okay.
we'll see how that goes.
I think an
Could be
hour
all
is-
we need.
Maybe.
So I'm going to need stealth checks from Lockie, Mira, and Yervith. Jin, I'll get you.
That is
to-
I
Yep.
will cast Path Without a Trace again, if that is the
Perfect,
case.
Mundo. Yep.
So I'll do that.
Jin, I'll get you to do me a performance check to begin with. It's a natural 1 from Mira for a total of 3.
Well,
13. 13's not too bad.
Can I give her a hand with Flash of Genius, perhaps?
Yes, you can.
That'll be, what will that be?
So
22 for Lockie and Yervith for a total of 32. So 5 from you, Lockie.
And that makes it not a natural one. As
18.
Well.
But you can't really get nat 1s and nat 20s for skill checks and things like that. Rules as written, you can't. I do factor that in a little bit, but you're not really supposed to. So yeah, okay. So is that 18 for you now, Mira? So it's 3 plus 5 and then plus the 10. 18's a lot better. 13 was a worrying one. 18's a lot better.
Yeah, much better.
Perfect.
Makes a huge difference.
Jin, I'll grab a performance check from you before we begin.
So
Yep.
the performance check, my active feat, because I'm
Yes, exactly,
have
yeah, you've got
on
advantage,
deception
yeah.
performance checks when trying to pass yourself off as a different
as someone
person.
else. Yep, exactly.
Amazing.
Cool. All right, so let's do performance. 17.
When we were 17's fantastic. When we were doing a Descent into Avernus campaign where I was a player, I played a bard with Bard Warlock with Mask of Many Faces and the active
Oh,
feat.
man.
Wow.
It got us through most encounters without any trouble at all. It was amazing. So overpowered. I stopped doing it because it started to sort of like take away from what other people were doing at the table. I felt really bad.
That's powerful.
We
That's
skipped
really powerful.
the entire Vanthempor villa just on that alone. I pretended to be Amric, the Vanthempor son who's disappeared, and it was great. It worked really well.
Amazing.
So yeah, performance of 17, absolutely fantastic. And Lyra, as you are pretending to be a bird, it's not really a performance check, is it? You're trying to sort of stay out of sight a little bit, so I will get a stealth check from you as well, and you will benefit from the plus 10 from Yervith.
Ooh, that's a good point.
That's good.
I'm just assuming it's like my normal dex. 'Cause I don't know
It's the birds. It's the birds dex. So I can tell you what the birds dex is. Let's have a
What is
quick
the
look.
dexterity of a bird?
Yeah,
Pretty good.
Is it a,
birds should be
is it a
pretty good.
African bird or a-
European.
European.
I don't know.
I don't know that.
Bird. A deep crow. It's not a deep crow. Staff of bird calls. There's no like stat for just a bird. There's a paper bird, but it's a magic item.
Wait. Monster manual, be my friend.
Yeah.
There is a stat for it. I know off the top of my head that Owl's +6 to stealth. but
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
might try. It won't be birds. It'll be like raven. I think we'll just go for raven. We'll just use raven because I've got a raven here. Raven's easy. Raven makes sense.
Yeah.
Your dex is +2, so the same as yours. So exactly
wow.
the same.
Sweet.
So it doesn't.
18.
So 18.
18. As you sort of turn into this brightly coloured macaw and begin sort of flying off, you immediately move in and fly with a flock of other birds, sort of disguising yourself amongst them before coming down towards a section of the trees and sort of landing just above the pathway where Jin is going to be walking, sort of have a bit of a scout out for him as you sort of see him approach. And then you wanted to have a bit of a fly around the city, didn't you, Lyra, to see what you could see? Yeah, do you want to make me a...
Over here.
Yeah. Perception or investigation check as you fly around, and we'll jump to Jin while you roll that, and then we'll get to what you see.
Okay.
Jin.
So,
Yeah.
as we've all sort of dispersed, sort of walking through the jungle towards the encampment of cultists and Yuan-Ti, I will sort of... So I've got like, I've got the... Still got the fangs, like the marks, sort of still visible on my neck and other places. I'll sort of stumble out of the jungle, like definitely looking like I'm just clinging to life, and I've been fighting this. Like I'm gonna make myself actually before I even come out, my clothes and stuff. I'm going to use like. I just want to quickly check. Okay, so cool. I'm going to use prestidigitation to soil an object. So all my
Okay.
clothes, I'm actually going to make them look dirty. I'm going to make them look roughed up. So I've really been going through this jungle and like I've been battling the elements. So I don't look just clean robes. I'm really like battered and bruised. and I'll probably even use some of the disguise kit to even emulate some of that on myself before I even like venture out. So I'm really like leaning into it. I'll sort of stumble out of the forest, the jungle, and I'll sort of help me, please.
Amazing.
And I'm just sort of like going towards them, going, and then I'm just sort of I stumble and I fall and I'm sort of like crawling, and then I'll just sort of emulate me passing out.
Yeah. We've already got a performance check. So as you sort of stumble in, a number of the Yuan-Ti sort of standing guard immediately clock you as you sort of stumble in and then collapse. One of them sort of moves over, passing his spear, which he's holding to the other Yuan-Ti. He moves over and sort of like checks your pulse and sort of sees that you are still alive and your heart is still beating strongly, and says in common to you, "What happened? Where did you come from?"
I'll sort of weakly sort of look up at him, and I'm sort of retracting myself in and going to the fetal position.
Yep.
And I'll sort of go, cultists, I'm part of the order, bitten by snake, barely survived, nearly on death's door. And I'm like really labored breathing, help, take me to cultists. And I'll sort of pretend to pass out. Yep.
Yeah, as they sort of begin inspecting your wounds, I'm going to roll a medicine check to see if they can figure out what's happened to you. Lucky piece of shit. I rolled really low, which is exactly what you wanted me to do for this.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, excuse me. As this happens, as you sort of collapse, they sort of have a bit of a look. He turns to his companion and speaks in this sort of hissing Yuan-Ti language that you don't recognize, who then sort of, holding both spears, comes back over, passes one of the spears to this guy who stands guard above you, and the other Yuan-Ti sort of slithers off towards a cluster of buildings. After a few minutes, two cultists emerge following him, a half-elf woman and an elven man, a wood-elf man, sort of emerge following and look down, and the wood-elf man goes, "Oh, Callum!" And he rushes over and begins shaking you awake.
I will actually pretend to stay passed out.
Okay, yeah, you're just like not responsive. Quick! Get the antidote! The woman sort of looks and goes, "But we do not know what type of snake bit him. If I use the wrong antivenom, it will be as if I was poisoning him. We need more information before I can use it." "No, he's not responsive. Please, help him, please, just guess."
As I sort of hear this, I will sort of murmur, and I'll sort of, I'll murmur and sort of awaken a little bit and stir. Where am I?
Callum, you're at the city. You're at the Tomb of Diderus. What happened? We lost you from the party. Where did you go?
I don't even know. My memory is so cloudy. I need help. Water, please.
The woman sort of bends down and hands you a water flask and stands back up and goes, "Now, Marcus, you know that he was sent to go and retrieve. Were you successful in your mission? Did you retrieve the artifact you were sent to collect? What happened to your guide, the one who was with you, the Yuan-Ti?"
As she offers me the water, I'll meekly sort of take it. I'll try my best to stomach it, and I'll sort of cough and sputter, and then I'll sort of look up at her. All a blur. I barely remember even my own name. And I'll just sort of cough her and sputter again.
Make me a deception check.
Oh my god.
So I'm not trying to pass myself off as
No, you're not. This is just a flat out lie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see how we go.
I do love it when characters flat out lie to NPCs. It's great.
16.
She frowns as she looks down at you, not looking to be very convinced.
Oh no.
So, don't remember. That's a pity. Well, You best come speak with Varum then.
I'll sort of gesture for the person who said my name, Kellen, to help me up.
Yeah, he sort of helps you up, and he goes, He's not strong enough yet. Come on, let me take him. He needs some time to rest. No, I think he should come now.
As he tries to help me up, I'll sort of like fall again, and then sort of help him to help me up again. And as I'm sort of walking, I'll be clutching my head, and I'll be like acting as if I'm confused and in a daze, going,
Yeah.
Where are we? And I'll be looking around, and
I'm gonna get another performance check from you, because you're now trying to perform as if someone who is too dazed and too confused.
not
12,
too
okay.
horrible.
At this point, Marcus, the other man as well, sort of starts to look at you a bit confused, and they're both looking a little bit oddly at you. The half-elf woman whose name you haven't heard yet goes, "Perhaps you're right, Marcus. Perhaps you should take him over to one of the chambers that we've cleared. He can spend some time recovering there. Would you be able to keep an eye on him?" Yes, I can do that. Callum, come with me. I'll help you.
I will sort of take his support and walk over to this tent.
Yes, he begins sort of leading you through the city as the two Yuan-Ti take up positions of guard again out the front. He begins leading you initially towards the ziggurat, and then takes a right-hand turn down a side street that's been cleared, guiding you into a large house that's been sort of cleared, this sort of crumbling ruin of a house that's now been cleared out from the jungle, and lies you down on a rough bedroll inside.
Cool.
Callum, I'm really worried about you. What's going on? You're acting really strange.
I sort of look at him, and I sort of meekly look at him, going, I remember a little bit of something to do with an artifact, the Yuan-Ti. Something happened in the jungle. Snake bit me. I don't remember what color or shape.
Okay,
feel...
it's okay. Rest. I'm sorry to push you. Rest. I will.
Yep.
I'll stand guard at the door. You stay here. And Marcus goes and stands at the door. My question is, what are you just gonna sort of lie there for a little bit, or are you gonna try and?
Yeah, I will lie there for a little bit.
Yeah, cool.
I think it just sort of, I need to sort of try and get them to think that I'm like recovering from a potential like very dangerous outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. After 5 minutes, you see the half-elf return with two Yuan-Ti of these snake legs. So there's the serpent-like body from the waist down, and then the humanoid torso on the top. But another Yuan-Ti with them, a woman dressed in long flowing robes, these very sort of red scarlet snake eyes, and her hair pulls back into almost a bit of a snake frill, and it becomes this. Oh yeah. Yep.
So sorry to interrupt. Before they even come, I will, while I'm in there resting, I'm going to cast Bardic Inspiration on myself.
Yeah, cool. That's fine.
Just in case.
Yeah, so it's sort of like the snake hood that cobras have. Her hair sort of morphs into this as it falls halfway down her head, and the hair sort of like covers and merges with it. And as she steps in, she looks over at the half-elf woman and goes, "This is the one you wanted me to check." "Yes, you returned from the jungle, but acting very strange." "Indeed." And she begins muttering under her breath.
If I can I use an action to do my changing feature? Now
Yes.
the issue is, because it's going to happen internally, not on the outside. Can I actually make myself have like conditions, because it's all physical? Could I make it seem like I'm actually afflicted by some venom? Like, could I emulate sort of like maybe like an erratic heartbeat or other things?
That's a really good question.
Because it's like on a physical level, I could potentially sort of...
The problem is, right,
emulate.
so to do that, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be changing your physiology so that you have a natural, a much faster resting heart rate, correct?
Just things to sort of emulate a venomation.
Tell me what those things are. I want to hear what specifically you're going to do before I, because it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
Sick. You probably look.
Are you just googling like symptoms of like poison? He fucking is. You should have asked the parrot. You should have asked the parrot. Okay, Google.
So I'll probably like emulate like.
Again.
Carry on.
Wow.
Non-sponsored, non-sponsored.
I
I'll
wish.
So I'll probably have like sweating, like sort of like visible signs of nausea, redness, some swelling.
So redness,
pupils.
sure. Redness, dilated pupils, no problem. Sweating's going to be tricky because sweating is a physiological response, not a physical response. So with sweating, to do that, what you're going to have to do is basically change your physiology to like increase your natural body temperature. So raise the temperature of your natural body so that you begin sweating to compensate for the heat difference. But that's not going to be an immediate thing. That's going to be like and that is a complicated thing to get right.
Yeah.
Because if you raise it too much and you don't change other parts of your body, you could actually start to give yourself brain damage with your increased body temperature.
Pupils, though,
dilated pupils, no problem.
happen.
Yep, dilated pupils easily peasily. Yep, that's not a problem at all.
Could you give yourself like
Changing the skin color, changing the coloration, not a problem at all.
All you'd have to do is tug on your vagus nerve a bit.
Huh?
We're about to hear some horrific medical advice from Claire.
How do you tug on it?
Yeah, just tug on it.
What's the worst that could happen?
Oh my god.
Oh man.
But I'd probably even do
yeah.
like, I'd probably even do like maybe like the image of like swelling and bruising.
Yep.
I could probably do like
Yep.
You could do, like,
Any
pustules
skin
and stuff,
colorations, that's fine.
Just cut like pustules and stuff, like greenish looking gross bits, necrotic bits.
so yeah, redness and swelling around the bites for sure. I'll just sort of have to emulate the sort of the nausea and sort of that, and the labored breathing, the dilated pupils. I'm wearing cloak. I'm wearing a cultist cloak that's probably pretty heavy in the jungle, so the sweating might actually already be happening.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. I think you would be sweating a little bit. So the ones that you're doing is focusing on skin coloration changes, dilated pupils, things like that. Correct.
Yes.
Cool. She begins muttering under her breath, sort of seeming to cast some sort of magic potentially as you watch as she begins, like sort of playing around. You hear this sort of hissing voice. Could I have you make me a charisma saving throw, please? You're probably the best person who could have had this spell casted.
Yeah. Wow.
Is it a 15?
Yeah.
Yes.
That is not a pass.
Oh shit. That's
Hold
not
on
good.
a
You
sec.
cannot speak.
Hold on.
Oh wait,
a sec.
Bardic Inspiration.
Bardic Inspiration.
Oh.
Saving throw. I can do that.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
This is 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
20. You feel this wash of magic,
Now
and
we're
for a
sweating.
moment,
That's why I did the Bardic
you feel
Inspiration
this-
beforehand.
Yeah. You feel this wash of magic, and for a moment, you feel this change in your mind, and there's a moment where you feel like you can't lie to this person, like you are unable to lie before you're able to sort of fight it off and push it. As she watches you fight it off and resist this effect, because unfortunately she knows whether a creature succeeds or fails on its throw with Zone of
shit.
Truth, she gives you a very quizzical look and then turns back towards the half-elf and goes, "He resists the effects. Perhaps some creative application of force could loosen his tongue."
Oh.
Oh no.
The half-elf sort of looks, goes, I don't know if that's quite
Okay,
necessary
I'm going to
just
do.
yet.
Oh, okay.
She goes, I don't know if that's quite necessary just yet. We merely wanted to know what had happened without means of deception or confusion. But if he has resisted the spell, perhaps he's not as weak as we thought. Callum, she turns and looks at you. Tell us what happened. Where is the artifact and where is your guide?
I'll sort of look around. It was all A's. I remember the guide. These adventurers killed him. I was bitten by the snake and I fled as quick as I could. Alas, I could not recover the artifact or save his life.
And were you able to locate the artifact? What did it look like?
That's a good question. I'll sort of cough and sputter a little bit. Alas, we never were able to find it. Not in the time period that we had and the things that happened along the way.
Nice.
Righty.
Nice.
I will need a deception check because you have only spoken lies to these people so far.
Yeah, well,
that sort of was
Adventurers did kill the guy. So
That's true.
That's not a lie.
that's
but,
not a lie.
but telling it from this person's perspective is a flat out lie.
Yeah, true. That's true.
And everything
fair
he's doing right now is like...
Well, it's a
he's
21
pretending-
anyway.
Exactly, it's 21.
That's pretty high.
They sort of like... The half-elf looks a bit sort of confused. And,
Actually,
Yeah?
Wait, no, I'm not. The active feat wouldn't come into that one, would it?
no, because you're. It's more an account of what happened rather than
Yeah.
you're trying to prove your identity. They're not... It's not that they don't believe who you are, it's that they're trying to find out what happened and what brought you back.
Yeah.
Empty-handed. Well, I'm very sorry, but if you have failed us, then there's nothing more we can do. We're given a task. Only those who are strong enough to fulfill the will of Severin are permitted to be part of this group. Gather your things. You are to walk back through the jungle and make your way back towards the town.
As she sort of says that, I'm going to cough and sputter. I could help with identifying the adventurers. They're the ones that have been following us since Green Nest.
Ooh. With that, the half-elf startles. Indeed. Unfortunately, we won't require your assistance with that then. We already have someone here who knows their faces quite well. Varam's never seen your faces.
Oh, someone else.
Oh shit.
Someone that's seen Lyra as well.
They don't know about you yet.
Ah, okay.
Not really.
Well, what I'm going to do is, I will gather my things then, and I'm going to meekly sort of walk out, look back with a bit of regret.
As
a bit of
you sort of
sadness.
stand and go to leave, Marcus like grabs you and goes, No, what are you... Hang on, stop. What are you doing? You're in no fit state to travel. Sit down. He sort of pushes you back onto the bedroll and stands up towards the half-elf. Celis, please, see reason. If we could just plead our case
Oh, man.
to anyone, please. You want to plead your case? Callum, do you feel you deserve a second chance?
I only wish to serve.
Very well. Rest. I will make sure that you have a chance to plead your case. Marcus, if you could keep watch. And as they pull, she sort of like pulls Marcus towards the front, just out of earshot. If you want to make me a perception or investigation check, you can see if you can overhear what she tells Marcus.
Oh, right.
Is Lyra close enough to also overhear this?
Nah, you're flying over the city at this point, sorry. 17.
Ooh, actually,
you do
I was-
catch... Oh, yeah?
I'm just getting my notepad up.
Yeah. You do catch Celas speaking to Marcus and saying, I think he is under the influence of some spell. Something has happened that does not... His behavior is odd. You agree? Yeah, yes, I do. I think he's acting a bit strange. Keep an eye on him. Do not trust him with a weapon. Do not trust him to walk around. He stays put. Do you understand me? Yes, I understand. Good. And if he tries to escape, you cut him down. Got it? What? Cut him? Yes. This group are tenacious. No mistakes. This is not going to be another Green Nest, another Skyreach. We will not have Daedalus fall the same way. Understood? Yes, I'm sorry. Good. On your head be it. She turns and walks away. Leaves this guy guarding Jin.
I actually like Marcus. Why is he guard the order?
Yeah, that's good.
because he genuinely and heartfelt in his heart of hearts believes that Tiamat will only bring good to the world.
Oh,
Do you want to ask him? Do you want to ask him?
What a precious
Not right now.
soul.
Salus is right there.
No. So she, as she walks away, the two Yuan-Ti accompany her, along with that Cobra Yuan-Ti, who sort of gives you another glance as she walks past. Actually, can you roll me a D100, please, Jin?
Ooh,
Ooh.
D100.
7.
7.
Doesn't necessarily mean bad. No, Owen is very weird with the D100s.
I randomize them. I chuck them through Excel and randomize them so that there's no
That's
possible
good.
way. Because otherwise, you look at, you go 7.
kinda
Oh
know.
shit! You start
Yeah,
clenching.
Yeah, exactly.
As this sort of Cobra Yuan-Ti begins to go, she sort of pauses and looks back towards Marcus and goes, "Your friend claims to have been bitten, correct?" Yes, I can see the puncture wounds in his eyes look very dilated. Give him some of this. She hands over a flask. Make sure he drinks it all. I will. Yes, of course. I will.
No.
And the Yuan-Ti priestess turns and walks away. Marcus comes down and sits with you, sort of cradles your head and goes, Callum, this will help. I need you to drink this. Holds the flask up towards your mouth.
Okay, I will allow it into my mouth, but then immediately I'm going to cough and sputter it out and start wheezing. That tastes dreadful. And then
as you take it into your mouth, immediately your mouth and tongue begin to feel numb. And as you sort of cough it out and splutter, you spray this all over the face of Marcus, who's with you. Because he's right up in your face, he's right there. He begins sort of trying to
probably
get
wouldn't
away.
intentionally be going for his face if I can.
No. But he is bent right over you with the thing, so there's maybe not right in
Yeah.
his face, but there's going to be some spray onto the side of his face.
Yeah,
I mean, if your
okay.
mouth's numb, it'd be hard to
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. The inside of your mouth goes instantly numb, almost as if you'd been anesthetized inside your mouth. And as you sort of cough and splutter, Marcus sort of grabs the side of his face and goes "What is this stuff?" and starts trying to wipe it off. I need you to make me a Constitution save with advantage because you didn't swallow any.
Okay, good.
But now your voice is definitely disguised.
16 and 19.
yeah, that's a good point.
16 and 19. Whatever this is incredibly strong. You begin to immediately start feeling lightheaded, a little bit dizzy, as you cough up this incredibly intense snake venom moonshine.
So I haven't completely wasted any of it.
No.
So do I know that it is? What is it?
It's alcohol. It's snake venom moonshine.
Wow.
Okay, so it's not.
That sounds
It's not a poison. It's not a potion. It's just incredibly
Well, I
strong
mean,
alcohol.
Is it like
It's
snake
poison,
whiskey?
kind of.
It's kind of
so
poison,
it's that big whiskey with the snake in it. Yeah.
So is it more for me
Fuck you
to?
up.
Was it given with the intent of helping me? Do you think?
It was. Well, I mean, I can't answer that. I know.
Okay.
What do you think?
Could I maybe
What
do
do
an
you think?
insight check?
Yeah, of course you can. 11. The way she spoke to Marcus, she didn't seem to be. There didn't seem to be anything about her that was duplicitous. She seemed to be, when she said this will help, she seemed to mean it from what you could hear. But again, you're not used to Yuan-Ti. Her face did not move a muscle
Right.
when she realized that you had resisted the effects. So you only knew when she said out loud, he's resisted the effects. So these
I'm
people have
gonna
got
do
a
a-
pretty tight lid on their emotional range.
No, yeah. As Marcus is sort of clutching at his face, I'm gonna try and do a swap with a regular just canteen that I have.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
gonna
Make
try
me a
and,
sleight of hand check, and they do look quite different. So the one that she's been handed is
It's
made
only
of
11.
snake skin.
Will-
Yes, you go to do it. You
Would I have advantage though because he's currently preoccupied?
no,
with clutching
because
his face?
he's just brushing off the side of his face. He's not collapsed backwards. He's just sort of.
Well,
brushing
what I
the
will
side of
do
his
is
face.
though,
Yeah.
as he's brushing the side of his face, I'm gonna
Yeah.
let out all the alcohol in that flask, and then maybe the sleight of hand instead. I'm gonna try and put water into it, and then quickly
Okay,
put the
so
water
as
canteen
you
away.
tip it, as you go to tip it, he grabs your hand and goes, "What are you doing? No, stop! You need to drink this!" And picks it back up and takes it off your hands. You've only managed to spill a teensy bit of it. 11's not a great sleight of hand.
It's not.
As he sort of takes this flask away and sees you getting out another flask, goes, Kala, were you trying to swap these?
I need water. Would this help at all? And I'm sort of really playing into like the dazed, confused, I don't know what I'm doing sort of thing.
He sort of steps back
Water.
and puts the cork back in this and pulls out his own water skin and chucks it towards you, and then goes back to sort of stand at the door, watching you with an eyebrow
I will
raised,
greedily be
confused, and
greedily like drinking this, like gulping it down, like greedily, like
Yeah.
like I have been parched of like thirst for like years.
Yep.
Really playing into like the dazed, confused, like sort of
Perfect.
injured man. Delirious is very
You need
good.
water. You don't need snake venom.
No.
Like yeah. That makes sense.
It's got a bite to it.
I will look at him.
Um,
I will look at him and go, "What did you give me? That." Oh.
He sort of sniffs it and takes a bit of a sip. I can't say for you. Wow, that's strong.
I'm gonna look at him like almost like I'm hurt that he tried to give me that.
As he sort of like has a sip and tastes it and looks at you, he's like, "Wow, that's strong stuff. It's just some spirits. What are you doing? What are you talking about?"
I look around dazed and confused, and I'm like, everything. I just sort of hold my head in my hands. Everything is just a blur. This.
Perfect. Well, that's where we're going to leave Jin for the moment. Lyra, as you begin flying around and looking out, could I have a perception check, please?
That was well done, by the way. That was very well done. Yeah. Ooh.
Well done.
Oh.
17. And where are you sort of focusing on? Where's your point of focus for investigation? So focusing on the town? Are you focusing on the ziggurat? Where's your area of focus?
Like I said, she doesn't want to be more than 6 seconds of flight away from Illyrian right now. But if you can sort of get to around the ziggurat diet sort of area, and over here and there, she would. But if it's too far away, it would be focused around where ever Illyrian is sort of being held.
Very much too far away. In that case, then you do overhear most of this conversation. If you're staying 6 seconds away from Illyrian, then you're actually there for all of this. You see these people approach, you see the conversation, you see everything that happens. With a 17 perception, you hear the entire conversation as well. And as the priestess leaves, they begin heading towards the ziggurat. And you can sort of see your companions, Mira, Lockie, and Yervith, making their way around the outside of the citadel, sort of getting up towards the stone steps of the ziggurat on the other side of the entrance to the main square, keeping hidden and so far not being observed. There's no signs of any danger for them. Lockie, Mira, and Yervith, you have a couple of narrow misses as you're moving through. There's one point where footsteps just a second before you come across a section of open road from around the corner alert you to the presence of some people walking through, and you're able to duck inside of a building really quickly as a number of these more humanoid looking Yuan-Ti, much more human looking, just a few scales and patches of snake skin pass through an area right where you were about to walk, but you are able to dodge and avoid.
Nice.
Your passageway. Go. Yep.
Yeah, I guess I'm keeping an ear out for not just steps as well and footfalls, but more so even just slithering or any sort of movement that might give away a Yuan-Ti that I've sort of encountered before.
Absolutely. You're hyper alert.
Yeah.
And with your stealth checks, the three of you are able to move through the city, this outer section that hasn't been cleared yet. Vines overgrowing much of the stonework. You can see that some of these buildings are also capped with gold. The gold has been untarnished by time, but has been damaged in areas where the buildings have collapsed. There's sections that have been, this gold coating has sort of fallen off or been scraped off by plants that are growing across the surface, claw marks and things like that. But beautiful. And the gold gets more and more elaborate the closer you get to this ziggurat, this golden ziggurat in the center.
I think we would.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say
No,
we would have made our entrance into the city around the time when the guards were preoccupied on Illyrian.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Right.
Us an opportunity to get in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are lots of other guards moving around, but this section of the city, this sort of southeastern section, hasn't been fully cleared yet, and so you are able to sort of duck through and move throughout this area without too much resistance or interference. You can see there's a work crew of some humans and Yuan-Ti working together to clear out one of the buildings, but you obviously immediately turn and avoid that section.
Yep.
As you approach the steps of the stone ziggurat, and reach the very bottom. The Cobra Priestess, the woman who had been with Jin before, obviously you guys don't know this, but Lyra would see her. She reaches the bottom of the stone steps as well around the same time you guys do, and you are around the corner, hidden from view behind with a small alcove where the stones have crumbled and shattered in. And you hear as she approaches, she goes, "I will need to speak with Farum. The ritual is not yet complete. Answers he seeks clouded for the time being. Make sure we are not disturbed. Any who enter the ziggurat die on my orders. Understood?" To Yuan-Ti nod and take up position, blocking the front. "Excellent. Well, everything changes at dawn." She enters the building and disappears from view. That's the priestess. The messenger who says to alert Varum, that just heads straight inside the building, Lyra, into the ziggurat. Looks like Varum is in the ziggurat. And that, I think, is a good little cliff edge to finish on tonight.
Go.
Interesting.
And we will
There
come
you
back.
go.
We will come back to what happens next next session.
Wow.
No, that's
Thank
next
you.
week. That's too far away.
Thank you so much, everybody, for coming and joining us. I hope you've really enjoyed this session. Been a really fun little session, this one. Really well done, Jared, with Jin's bluffing and pretending to be.
Man.
That was very, very nice.
It's always
Very-
very hard when you're like going to it blind with like
Yeah.
no facts. Like I have no idea what their aims are, who they are. I'm just this guy who's like delirious from a proposed snake bite.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got no idea. I know, and it's great fun for me when you put yourselves in these situations with no knowledge, because I'm like, great, fantastic, here we go.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Hey, gotta do it for the stream, hey.
Exactly right. Well, that is all from us tonight from Dungeons and Dragons. We will be back again next Wednesday. I do have some exciting news. All of the lovely people here, I've checked, are very keen to enjoy the Avatar: The Last Airbender RPG that's just recently been successfully funded on Kickstarter. I have the quick start guide, so we have everything we need to get started. I've already started composing some music. I've already got some artwork ready to rock and roll. So all I need from these lovely players is to make their characters. And then I'll put some announcements out with each character that's completed. I'll put the announcement up on Twitter. And we will be doing a playthrough of Avatar: The Last Airbender. At this point, I'm thinking we're going to set it right at the very beginning of the 100 Years' War. So right before the attack on the Air Nomads, when the Fire Nation is preparing to attack. So Fire Lord Ozai has taken over control after the death of his father. Sorry, no, Sozin. Ozai's the later one. Sorry, Sozin. Sozin has learned about the comet. Avatar Roku has only just died. So Aang has only just been born and is a tiny baby at this point. So it's right before the 100 Years' War, because I think that will be a really fun period of time to explore. Because I always wanted to know more about that. Like, did people notice the Fire Nation sort of building up this power? Because I mean, obviously in the intro, suddenly the Fire Nation attacked, but I want to know more. What was the build up to that? So we're going to explore that period of time, which will be really, really fun. So that means airbenders are absolutely allowed, which I'm very excited about too, because I think it's a bit shit to not have airbenders. They won't be extinct yet, exactly right.
Ooh,
So stay tuned for that. I will be providing new announcements on that as time goes on, and I will have some character art for each of these lovely people as well once we're ready to rock and roll. I'm going to try and do it in the style of the Avatar characters. So here we go. It's not my style of drawing at all, but I'm going to give it a go.
That's awesome.
And I hope I've changed the music just enough that we're not going to get any copyright strikes. So I've done recompositions of each of the of each of the songs. So I just finished off the Agni Kai one, the dun 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 dun, that which I love. I'm really stoked for that one. So I'll finish the other ones off before we start as well. But that's it from me. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming and joining us. We will see you all again next time. Stay safe, stay well, and farewell.
See you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody. Farewell.